What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday's show, the live stream event of the day, Saltcast IRL. We have a lot of freaking topics going on today.
We do?
We have a lot.
A lot?
We have a lot.
How many is a lot?
That's actually just a few.
I mean,
This is a pretty slow Tuesday.
Weren't we just like going, hey, what are we going to talk about today?
I don't know. We're just going to whatever. We're just going to shoot the shit.
Go with it.
We're going to have a good time today, though. Astro Nerd Boy's here. What's up, Mayor?
Yeah, man.
Forgot I was waiting. Did our music just start playing in your background? You're just like, oh my God. We got Quantum Cat here as well, supporters of the show, also members of the channel. Thank you guys so much for being members. If you're not, join up. What do we got? 5? We try to get 5 every show? Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, we try.
I think so, yeah.
All right.
You know, that many drop every week, so we got to make up for the people.
What did you just put in your mouth?
Piece of paper.
Oh my God.
Why?
Because it was wrapped around a cough drop.
Oh,
Ricola. They try to be fancy and they put paper around the
it's
cough
wax
drop.
paper.
That's already wrapped in paper. So I don't know. Whatever.
It's double
I guess
wrapped.
I think there's a little too much
For your own
alcohol in
protection.
Vader's.
Vader, dude, you should have seen the amount of Tito's he put in that drink.
I know.
He's
I
drinking-
watched him. He's like,
He's drinking Tito's and a 12-year-old's energy drink.
Yep.
Look at Sour Patch.
Sour Patch.
Oh,
First
God.
they're
Sour
sweet,
Patch
then they're
Red
sour. Or is it first they're
Patch
sour, then
Kids,
they're
Red
sweet?
Berry.
Well, hey, after you survive the plague, you just enjoy life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking old energy drinks and eating
Hey
paper.
man, I needed to come in and hang out with my friends today,
Let's do it.
and I wanted some liquid refreshment.
I do too. I'm drinking a.
I mean, it ferments you, right? It, you know.
Listen.
It mummifies your insides so
Yeah.
you live longer.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I was laughing at him today because he was just sick, like just got over a
I
cold.
know, yeah.
Comes in, alcohol and energy drinks, and I'm like, yeah, buddy, that's how you do
I'm
it.
sure there's vitamins in that.
It's like this and this.
That's how you stay healthy,
And
kids.
you go.
That's the picture of health.
And they go together.
All right, I'm going to move
Fantastic.
my drink up now.
I'm joined as always. Matt Vader's here.
Hi.
You're here to
Here I
just deflate my
I got
balloon.
I'm chilling. Not a
Yeah,
sponsor,
shout out to Shaky Miles.
I'm chilling this loser podcast up here. I don't know what the fuck that.
What did
And,
I walk in?
Well, you
We're
know,
just hating on
listen,
each other today.
if you're gonna be a regular around here, you better get your shit together.
I know.
Okay, because
We're gonna start sending you homework assignments.
right.
I'm gonna cry every time in my car because Vader's just gonna make me cry every time I leave.
you know
I'm just
you
gonna hold
you're,
it together and just go cry in my car.
you're always watching shit that I don't approve of.
What do you mean?
Okay,
What do
it's
I
like
watch?
you're always giving that freaking company that owns Dungeons and Dragons money.
Actually,
You're playing Blizzard games. I was like, I don't know if you're going to be able to hang with me or not because
I'm on your side now, Vader.
Oh,
Especially
okay.
since they didn't wish Gary a happy birthday on
they
his
never
birthday.
do. They never
Yeah, what a bunch of
do. Haven't
losers.
done that in years.
Uh,
Okay.
Candace is
Sorry.
also here.
They don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
No
no, I
clue.
know.
High five.
No clue
Yep.
whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah,
Freaking
so
nerds.
for everyone out there wondering, Jude has not been fired from the podcast. She does all of our recorded stuff. She just doesn't like doing live streams.
No.
And plus, we have a child at home that needs some attention. So we have asked Nadia from the Inside All Day podcast.
Not the at home all day.
Not the that's the other Nadia.
Yeah.
So we've asked Nadia to kind of just, because she's local, she does podcasting, she's a friend of the show, to kind of sit in for Jude so that we still have the ambassador of estrogen
Oh, yeah.
representation
Yep.
going on here.
It's a necessity.
But we would like to welcome Nadia as her first regular appearance on the Salty Nerd IRL Tuesday show.
Yay.
Sweet. Thank you, Nadia.
Hopefully you
Appreciate
don't lose supscriptions now afterwards.
it. Supposedly, I think YouTube says you get
What?
more when you have women on.
Yeah,
know.
but not with me. I mean, I did like Barbie. Everybody will probably fall off.
I'm gonna put my wig on.
Yeah, do
That's
that.
true.
I don't have it here. It's
Oh.
here. It's
Vader was saying that we should all become VTubers and just have animated avatars.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
No, dude, they annoy me.
Yeah, but like if we just AI generate our faces and we're all just like smoking hot
We
chicks.
need to like make the chick versions of us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember those pictures?
Dude, mine was a smoke show.
I was pretty hot too.
Yeah, you're right.
I was
I've
okay.
seen
I was totally fuck you. Though.
Vader, you were totally mid as a
I was
woman.
mid, but Alex was hot as
Jude's
hell.
was the worst.
Alex was very hot.
Well,
yeah.
Jude was the soy boy.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. I
It's
felt
like,
bad for her.
And she got like legit like insecurities
got upset
because
about it.
she was like, you were all hotter than me as a girl. She's like, what kind of fucked up world do we live
Do you
in?
still have those pictures?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
don't-
need to pull those
I
up.
don't
and
have
show
them
people.
anymore. I think I deleted mine.
But
those
Oh man.
No,
Avatar,
even
uh,
Alex, he pulled like a what is it, Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs. He's like, I'd fuck me.
Oh my god, yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I was a smoke show. You
I'll
don't
have
even
to
understand.
see these. I'll have to see
You
these.
don't
I won't
understand.
do it. Oh no. I mean, I know I've seen myself as a man, and I look and I'm like, oh my god, I'm my dad. 100%.
No, I gotta.
I've seen
Oh,
those
man.
AI things. I've seen a video of somebody that was using a machine to make their AI twerk.
Do you know who Seth Green is?
Yes.
All right. So Jude looked like Seth Green.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was sad.
I don't believe it.
Oh, she
I
was
need to
she was
see
so
these.
pissed
She was
off.
not
She was
happy.
so pissed off. And even like our stunt cock Tom, conspiracy Tom,
Mhm.
like he
That
was
was
even
like-
he was even a hotter girl than she was, and so she got really pissed off.
I've seen Chris in one of them.
When
Chris
was it?
is
That
a
was
pretty
like
hot
20
gal too.
2019, maybe.
Maybe you guys just have more feminine
I believe it was
features.
2020.
That's why I had to grow the beard
Yeah.
to cover it up.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Let's see. Our first topic for today. My wife is already in the chat.
I see her.
That's good. You know who's not in the
Luke-
chat? My wife.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker versus Elon Musk. Man, what is happening right now? Mark Hamill has got some kind of a bone to pick with
Everybody?
the new renamed Twitter X.
Listen, he's just
I'm with Vader. I don't know why everybody's blowing.
no.
smoke
I'm
about it.
having fun today because every time I tweet something stupid,
No, I meant about them changing it to X.
oh yeah, I
Yeah,
don't care. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
So, do you want to give some background on?
Are
like,
they tweeting or
what's
Xing?
going on?
I don't exactly know. I just fell into it yesterday. I hopped on X and I was scrolling through my feed and I see Mark Hamill just like, hey guys, we're gonna do no tweeting.
no tweet Tuesday.
No tweet Tuesday on August 1st. We get the whole world to do it. We could show them who's boss. And I'm like, what?
It's been pretty nice today with everybody who follows us.
Yeah.
on
Like,
this.
you mean,
Quiet.
you mean all the libs are off of Twitter?
Yeah.
I want them
Alright.
all to go over to
This sounds
Threads.
great.
Yeah.
They can all go to Threads and have a miserable time
Didn't-
together.
It announced Threads lost a lot of users as well yesterday.
Well,
Yeah.
Threads is dead.
Threads lost about 2/3 of like so it still has the user base that signed
Yeah.
up, but the engagement activity, like the activity on Threads, is down to like below normal levels. So
Mhm.
basically, everyone who signed up for Threads basically just did it to claim their name, and then they just didn't use it.
It's like
So
I made a little video of me deleting Threads off my phone, and I typed
But then you're gonna
I
lose
came,
Instagram.
I saw, I deleted.
Yeah.
No, I just deleted it off my phone.
but Mark Hamill was like a very big opponent of, Twitter being taken over by Elon Musk. He's been very disapproving of all the changes that Elon Musk has been making.
Yeah, God forbid people have free speech.
Yeah.
Why
and-
doesn't he buy it then? Ed?
and so Mark Hamill decided to organize a protest in the sense that on the very 1st of August, he asked everyone to just not tweet or
Yeah.
Zeet, as it's now known.
Is
That's-
it Zeet now?
It's
Yeah.
Zeet,
They,
yeah.
I think we're
I
just.
don't like that.
I
They
don't
need
like
to,
that.
they
Just
need to think
listen.
of something
He
else.
said
Go
to
ahead.
just call it posts.
Yeah, posts
Just
are
call
fine.
it a post.
Do you know
That's
what
all
I
gotta
mean?
do.
He's like Ron Perlman. He's another idiot.
Oh,
Yep.
didn't
Yeah.
he leave again?
He left
No, he
and
came
came
back.
back in 3 days.
Oh.
No, 3 weeks. Took him
3 weeks? Okay,
Yeah.
Well,
whatever.
it's just like
Pretty
all
much.
these guys who say that they're going to move to Canada when a Republican
It's
is
just
elected president.
it's just
Yeah.
all for attention.
It is.
That's all it is. And then they don't follow through with it and they come back for whatever reason they come up with there in their head.
When Ron Perlman left, I said, "See you tomorrow, dickhead."
Well, everybody tagging Mark Hamill, I understand the joke of it, but also it's giving him attention in a spotlight. as
Sure.
well.
No,
yeah.
I want Mark Hamill to turn his tweet or his X on tomorrow and have 7 million
Oh,
things
you
attached to
don't
his
think
thing.
he's looking today? You really
It's
think?
gonna-
You
I'm
really?
gonna. I want
think
to. I
he's
want
not
to go.
checking his
I mean,
notifications?
he actually tweeted today.
Did he?
I'm
Did
gonna.
he?
He
What?
did.
I want to go. I want to
He
go.
broke his own freaking
Listen.
rule.
I want to go take a shit and take a picture of it and send it to Mark Hamill.
I will stop following you, so I don't have to see that. Okay.
No, he'll just
Oh,
DM
don't
it
do
to him. They're
that.
both blue checks.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
on, hold on a second. I got this. Did he really tweet today? 14 hours ago. Was that considered
No,
today?
that was tomorrow. I was yesterday.
Okay.
But what was funny is he tweeted out a Fox News story about, his protest.
Yeah.
Oh, today about
Yeah. So I'll read it. I
like,
pulled it up.
like at midnight or something like that. But like basically, I replied to him. I was like, "Oh, so now you're quoting Fox News."
so his tweet 17 hours ago, which technically was
That's last
before the blackout, I suppose. He says, "Hooray! I've successfully created a distraction from
Yeah.
what exactly?
from what?
I feel like the new green M&M. Thanks to all who helped make this thing a thing. Yes,
So he's a girl Eminem.
a dumb thing, but still. Now Now, how big can we make it for no apparent reason? Well, that's the other thing too. Is like, what is the
Listen,
he's just protesting
in
Elon
the
Musk.
In the end, Mark Hamill is just another
Does he
egomaniac
realize
celebrity.
he's giving Elon, in a sense, more, I guess,
Yeah, 'cause
money or
guess what
engagement because
app-
people are engaging
Guess what
more
app
on it?
people are gonna go and see this stuff
Yeah.
on? X.
So he was protesting the rebrand essentially.
Why? I don't get why.
Because people just don't like the rebrand.
I mean, I think it's kind of weird because now we're calling it like
And they took down the X sign
Zeets.
too because
Nobody knows
on
what to call it anymore. Like it
X.
should have just been Twitter X. Like if he wanted
I
to
would like
rebrand
that.
it, it would have
Yeah,
been Twitter
I can
X.
see that.
wow, that's a hell of a picture.
But I mean, wow. I mean, Elon's pretty. I mean, he's smarter than most people, right? So I would assume he's got a plan for all.
Yeah.
Of
I don't know
this.
if he's smarter than most people. He just has way more money than most people.
Yeah.
He's made
Or
some
at
good
least he's
decisions.
able to hire way more smarter people.
I'm not
around
saying
him.
he's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I feel like he's a lot more impulsive than most people.
Yeah.
I think he has an end game in mind, but I'm not sure if he has the right.
He doesn't know how to get there,
Doesn't know
or
how to
he's
get
just
there.
kind of stumbling. He's like, I'm gonna get there
Yeah.
eventually.
I want to see what because I'm sure he like didn't they probably test marketed it to see
No,
they didn't at all.
no.
He wants it to be like
he
that
just was like,
Chinese everything
X.
app.
Well, the X app has been a thing that he's been planning on for a long time, and in fact, someone actually made a good point about this the other day. I forget where I saw this, but when he went to investors to buy Twitter, his pitch wasn't like, I want to buy Twitter. His pitch is like, hey, I'm developing this X everything app. That's what you're financing. It's not just about purchasing Twitter. It's about getting the technology so that we can create this everything app. And so that's how he was able to get outside investors to come in with him and make the purchase on Twitter.
Well, yeah, because it helped him in a sense jump years ahead because he already has the foundation laid out and the user base with Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend to know what the guy's plan is. I don't really care.
I like this chat. Elon's trying to resurrect DMX. X
Gonna give it to you. The amount of times I've seen X gonna give it to you. In the last,
oh yeah, that meme is everywhere on Twitter.
Also, speaking of the light that they had on top of the Twitter headquarters,
Yeah,
whatever,
they took it down.
The meme of Jerry Seinfeld and Kramer
I
is
love it.
it's so perfect because
Yep.
it's exactly what would be happening in the building next door to that place.
Seinfeld's my fall to sleep show, like the show that
100%,
I
yeah.
relax to at night, and I've it's the only reason I've kept Netflix.
I've rewatched that show countless times. I love Seinfeld. But yeah, that meme was hilarious. I got a good chuckle out of that. The X thing is weird, and Mark Hamill freaking out about it is even weirder. I don't know. I feel like we're in a weird alternate timeline.
They
People
all
are just-
didn't like Twitter to begin with, so it's just another
Listen,
reason.
No,
to
they
complain.
liked it when
they
it was
loved
elitist.
Twitter.
Yeah,
They
they
loved
loved it
No, I
when it
meant
was
when
elitist.
Elon bought Twitter, they didn't like it then, and
Yeah,
now
because
they
they were
don't like
losing
it
their
X. I feel like
status.
they're just because nobody.
It's
real
no-
people are kind of like, hey, these
it's-
people don't have an opinion. Sorry.
It's no different than Trump. It's like Elon is the thing to scream about now.
He's a new bad guy.
He's a new bad guy.
Yeah.
And even though he was like they were all on his side, buying the shit out of his Teslas a couple of years ago. Now
That's
that
true.
he's,
Oh yeah, he was the green movement guy.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love Elon Musk. He's saving the planet with his world-killing
Yeah,
batteries
yeah.
and
It's like-
solar panels that they can't get rid
They
of
all
or
drive.
recycle.
I bet they're still all driving Teslas.
Oh yeah,
100%.
They can't get rid of those cars. Nobody will buy them.
No.
Nobody wants a Prius.
Yeah.
no.
I'm all for innovation, and I know Elon is like electric car, man with the flag, but I can't get behind the electric car stuff. I think they're wasteful, and I don't think they're nearly as recyclable as people
And this is coming
pretend
from
they
a
are.
guy who used to work at a mine where they would get the stuff to make those.
Yeah, I know what it
batteries from.
takes to create
It's
what these things are made out of,
not
and it's not
environmentally
environmentally friendly in any way, shape, or form. So it's
I
a
mean,
lot of nonsense.
Yeah, and also the rare earth minerals for those batteries, like China has the market cornered on them
Yeah,
basically
there's
because
only-
they don't care about the environmental impact.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is everybody's like the United States is polluting the earth? I'm like, China's doing way worse than
more,
we are.
yeah.
Trust me.
Demonetized.
Demonetized, and we're not even talking about movies. What the heck is going on here?
I never really wanted a Tesla. My dream car is the Ford Bronco. I want an old school Ford.
Or
Bronco.
okay, old
I'm
one.
gonna
Alright,
buy
yeah.
another Jeep.
Yeah.
Jeeps are nice.
I like the Jeeps.
Okay. Well, now that we're not talking about movies at all,
because we're a car podcast.
Speaking of cars, just really quick before you do that, have you
Yeah.
seen that new Robert Downey Jr. show?
Which one?
a show?
The one
Yeah.
about cars?
Yeah, it pisses me off
Why?
because he's taking really cool cars and he's
Oh,
Making them
and
into
he's converting
Yeah.
them into electrical
Yeah.
I
bikes.
heard about that. I saw just a quick snippet. He was doing some
It's
interview.
so it's just
He
a bunch
looks
of
sick.
it's
I'm
so
sorry.
propaganda, man. It's
he
just a bunch
takes
of bullshit.
well, he was selling bugs for protein not that long
Mhm.
ago too.
Yeah,
But he's completely
vegan.
sold out.
He ever since he switched over to a vegan diet,
He looks sick.
He looks
He looks
sick.
terrible.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks
Go
he
eat, go
aged
eat some protein, bro.
from Endgame to now in Oppenheimer. I don't know. Maybe he was doing that for the Oppenheimer role. He was getting real
He
skinny.
looks
or
better
something.
in Oppenheimer.
No.
But yeah, he's thinned out. He looks like 12 years
He
older.
looks like a normal vegan.
Was Endgame 12
He
years
looks
ago?
like he needs.
There's
it looks like he needs to go eat a steak.
If
And
you
a big
watch
potato.
the documentary of his dad on, is it Netflix? I think he looks sickly in that too, and that came out post Endgame too as well.
Yeah, he looks rough, and I think you're right. It has something to do. Once he started pitching like bugs as protein, he started getting sickly. Doesn't look healthy.
No.
And now he's taking old retro awesome muscle cars, tearing them apart and putting electric motors inside of them.
Yeah. Don't do
I'm
that.
like, what are you doing, dude?
No.
Stop.
Yeah.
Those old retro cars are way more recyclable.
You just ruined that car.
Yeah, you absolutely ruined the car. And like you can take a motor out of an old ass freaking car, polish it up, clean it up, rebore the pistons, and rebuild it, and it'll work just as good as it did when the day was new. And you have a brand new car in your hands out of material that was made 50 years ago. You cannot do that with an electric car. Those things destroy the planet. This whole idea is just nonsensical. But yeah, I remember seeing that, and I'm like, that's a crime to take an old muscle car and retrofit it into like an electric beast. Like, no, dude, no.
My grandpa's like spinning in his grave,
Yeah.
just seeing that.
I mean, it's cool and all that they're fast. Like electric cars are super fast. Like you can't beat the speed of those things, but that's just not.
But then you got to stop and recharge them. Like on a road trip, you have to. I remember my sister and brother-in-law. My brother-in-law has a Tesla, and they have to plan where each Tesla recharge.
And it takes like an hour to recharge them.
Yeah.
And so like if there's a line, like it could be like an hours long like layover just to charge your car.
Yeah, it's nonsense. That whole idea is garbage.
Is your avatar Mark Hamill?
It is. Yeah. It's been like that for like 2 years. You've never noticed?
I guess I haven't paid that much attention.
Yeah.
I'm never on live streams with you though.
Well, I never use my talking nipple thing.
Yeah.
Right? So like a lot of YouTubers will just be a talking icon. And one time, because I was like, well, that's kind of dumb.
Hey guys, don't do that. Let me see your face.
So when I was like, you know what? Everybody else is a talking icon. Because I was on a live stream one time where I was the only one who had a webcam.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even my channel. It was somebody else's channel. It was a guest. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be the only person with a freaking webcam on, whatever. So I just real quick downloaded a picture of Mark Hamill and I made him my talking head.
Vader was just mentioning to me last night how annoying he finds like the talking nipple. Like when he's watching a live stream and it's like everyone's just like got their nipple on.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean with video off? It's just
it's just your logo that kind of like pulsates. We call it the nipple.
It's like you either got
like
your
this.
nipple on or there's people who
get it.
Yeah,
I'm not on StreamYard,
or
but
people who
okay,
put the
I know what you're
animated
talking about.
cartoons on. It's like, listen, I know a lot of these guys, they're all very nice people. I don't want to like sound like a jerk. But can we just see your face?
Yeah.
You're not that important to where you have to like be where you have to like hide your identity.
Way to pick fights
from somebody. You know, it's I just find it really funny. If people could look at this ugly ass mug
in 4K.
In 4K.
Any ladies listening using the pulsing nipple?
Yeah.
The group I have.
I just find it very strange.
I agree with you.
It's off-putting. It's off-putting.
And well, there are some people who are genuinely afraid to show their face, not because like they're nervous about being judged, but because they're like, they're gonna come for me. If they know who
or if
nobody
their
cares
job
that much.
finds out or something.
Now that's
a big thing.
Yeah, that's interesting because when people are like, "Well, my job might not like that I do this," I'm like, "What kind of job do you have that they care what you do on social media?" But I do remember one time when I was applying for a job, on the application was list your social media accounts, and I was like, "No."
My former job put it in. You had to sign that anything you do outside of the job on your social medias that would reflect back to the company could result in you being let go.
Yeah, a lot of people feel.
It's like I know we're getting a little flack in the chat right now, and it's like, look, if people want to have the talking nipples, that's fine. I just would rather see your face.
Yeah,
I would just rather see your face.
I would
That's
prefer
all.
that.
I mean, it's just a preference.
I think most people who do live
Doomcock is Robert Meyer Burnett.
I think most people who do live streams and show their face tend to like have like a better connection with their audience than the people who are just like you never see their face. Like for instance, like Midnight's Edge, like Tom, like he prefers the talking nipple just because he doesn't like how he looks on camera or whatever. But like sometimes he'll turn his webcam on and show us, and
he'll make a silly face and go, and then he'll turn it back
and then
on.
go back off.
Whatever.
I mean, it is what it is.
I
Everybody
agree
has
with
a
you. I
preference.
think it's a connection thing. People can see that you're just an ordinary person. You're not,
Yeah, like basically you might as well just be listening to a podcast if everyone just has the talking nipple up during a live stream. So I like to watch ones that have like if you look at Friday Night Tights, like they always everyone on there usually has like a webcam on.
How did we get on this topic?
I have no idea.
Because you brought
That's
up
really
the
weird.
talking nipple.
I did.
Yeah, I don't.
I think
Well,
you
you asked me
did.
about my profile picture.
Yeah.
Oh,
Smart
that's it.
camel.
That's it. But like I said,
It's what it is,
It's
man.
a preference thing. I would just rather see your face. That's all.
Yeah, we're not. Like you said, we're not shading
I mean,
anybody.
not
I
that
wanna see
there's
the
anything wrong
I want to
with
see the
talking
expression on your
nipple.
face.
Not that there's
There's
anything wrong with that.
that.
Yeah, let's get the
Yeah.
Seinfeld reference going in there. Speaking of not having a connection with your audience, Disney flops again. This movie that nobody knew was coming out came out and it flopped, and they were all like, "Oh,
Well, people knew that it was coming out. They just didn't care.
I didn't know it was coming
What
out."
movie?
The
Haunted
Haunted
Mansion?
Mansion. It's a Disney ride that they turned into a
Oh, I
live
saw a
action movie.
trailer about that one.
Yeah.
And they'd actually made a movie about it with Eddie Murphy before, and I think that one didn't do very well either.
Isn't there two of them
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
it's,
Eddie Murphy?
there
Did
might
they
have
get a
been. There might have
sequel?
been.
Oh, is
Yeah.
this like a remake of a show movie?
Reboot.
I don't know if
It's-
it's a remake, but basically they wanted to make a scarier version based on the ride.
Of a not so scary ride?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they tried this before in the early 2000s or the late 90s with Eddie Murphy.
I completely forgot about
I
those
didn't hate
movies.
those movies. They were fun.
The Eddie Murphy movies?
Yeah.
I don't remember them. I don't think
I'm
I ever
pretty
saw
sure
them.
They're
there
kinda
were
stupid,
two of them. I'm not 100%.
Oh, I
sure.
don't think this one was supposed to be taken seriously because it still has like a schlocky kind of like tongue-in-cheek vibe to it.
What was it rated? Does anybody
I
know?
think it's PG-13.
Oh,
Um,
PG-13.
Knowing Disney, probably rated R because they totally don't know their audience at all for anything.
Well,
that they do.
that's what I wanted to bring up is like we're continually looking at Disney like with these TV shows, Secret Invasion, flopping, being terrible
Oh.
ratings. Every movie that comes out that Disney has, everybody's like, Elementals did nothing.
Mhm.
Like nobody talks about that movie.
Didn't even know it came into theaters.
Right?
And left.
Yeah. They're just it's flop after flop after flop, and I'm just like, how many times can they do this without going, "Hey guys, we need to stop."
And I'm willing to bet that the Marvels is going to bomb.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the Marvel's coming out.
Oh, did you guys
Yeah.
hear that the theaters are like, we're not showing the Marvels in any of our
IMAX
No
big
IMAX.
for
theaters?
Dune?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
No,
doing Dune instead.
Yeah, they're not doing. They refuse to give the Marvels any IMAX theaters because they're
Mhm.
committing to Dune because they know people are
Disney-
actually going to go watch
Watch
Dune.
Dune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
People are
really-
going to show up for that.
I'm really hoping they put
Um,
Dune 1 back in theaters too. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm kind of holding out to see if they'll bring it back to kind of do
It's
it.
free on Max.
The
I
fu-
know. I really want to see it, but I want to see it in
It's
how it
not
was
free.
supposed
You're
to
paying
see.
for that service, sir.
'Cause I didn't go
It's
see
included in Max.
it. I didn't go see it because I read the book. I was trying to read the book before seeing it.
So
I just got to read this real quick. JT for $2.
Now,
Now we need a nipple emoji. I think we already have one. Don't we already have
I
one?
think we do.
All right.
Yeah. yes,
Get with it, JT. What's up, man? Thanks for nipple. Look at this guy's in the
We
chat.
WG gifted 5 subs a while ago.
Oh,
so-
did he? Oh,
so
I
that-
didn't see
That was
it.
really awesome.
Yeah, for some reason StreamYards doesn't show me the gifted sub things. So thank you so
Well,
much, WG.
weren't you telling me that it was actually supposed to be the Marvels out now and Haunted Mansion was supposed to come out later, but they switched them
knows
for the
anymore?
theaters?
yeah, so originally the Marvels was supposed to be a summer release, and because of various reasons, I think Disney decided to switch the release windows for the Marvels and Haunted Mansion. So they moved Haunted Mansion up to the summer, which I also think is one of the reasons why we didn't get a big marketing campaign for it, is because of that switch. And they wanted to push Marvels back because they want more time to kind of like for the actor strike to kind of go away so they can get people out there promoting it and all this other stuff. But honestly, like I don't think any amount of promotion is going to save that movie because nobody is interested in Captain Marvel.
Well, you
Or-
have to go see. You have to watch Miss Marvel, and you have to watch Secret Invasion to lead up to
And
the
WandaVision.
Marvels
And WandaVision.
and WandaVision, and
and you have to have seen the first
Miss
Captain Marvel.
Marvel. Yeah,
I mean, there's
that's a
gonna
lot
be,
of work to go see.
yeah.
a
Just so you
movie-
go one movie.
movie.
Yeah, it's not going to do well. I don't expect that to do.
Especially after like Secret Invasion basically neutered Nick Cage's character.
Yeah.
Is it Nick Cage?
No, not Nick Cage.
Not
Nick
Cage,
Fury.
Nick Fury. Samuel Jackson. I went maybe he would have been a better Nick.
I got it half
Fury.
right, but like, they basically destroyed Nick Fury's character. Like he used to be like a cool character.
Well, Captain Marvel kind of helped with that.
Well, a bunch of stuff, but basically after Secret Invasion, like the Nick Fury character is just not interesting anymore.
But I love the fact that the theaters are finally just like, you know what, Disney.
I feel Haunted Mansion would have been a better Thanksgiving weekend movie, only at the fact that you could take your kids to go see it. Like it's a, Disney Haunted Mansion.
The chat's saying that a lot of the reviews that are coming out of it is the movie's actually pretty decent.
It might be.
So I mean, maybe it'll get some more legs on streaming or something like that.
Here's the thing, though. It's a Disney product.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
I just don't care.
Yeah.
And the last couple of Marvel movies that have come out have been so lackluster, especially like Quantum Butthole.
Yeah.
So like
so
the hype for this thing, I think most people, especially the ones who actually want to watch it, might wait for it to just come on streaming as opposed to actually go and see it in the theater.
It'll be on Disney Plus probably next week, right?
Yeah.
So
came out in theaters 2 weeks later. It's on Disney Plus.
The last Marvel movie I went to see in theaters was Thor: Love and Thunder, and then after that I was like, "Fuck this! I'm just gonna watch these on stream. I'm done."
Yeah, I watched
There's no point.
Quantum Butthole on streaming. I watched Love and Thunder on streaming too. I haven't gone to the movies to go see a Marvel movie.
I haven't even bothered to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I'm waiting to stream it. I'm just waiting to
either.
stream it too on Disney Plus. I mean, Disney Plus is part of my phone bill thing, so I have it no matter what. I want to see it.
Did I?
But I think somebody
Where
said,
did I watch it at?
You went to the theaters, didn't you?
Did I?
I think so. I thought you did.
Is it on streaming?
Did you take your wife?
No.
I had to have gone to see it in the theater then.
It's on purchase streaming, but it's not on Disney Plus yet.
Yeah, I had to have gone to the theater. That's pretty funny.
Well,
I can't remember.
Well, that's the other
said
question.
it's part of the older regime of the whole Marvel. Like it's kind of reflects.
But I mean, like
on
a much bigger level, Disney has been on a real losing streak lately.
Yeah,
and it's only getting worse.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to recover from this unless they. Well,
I mean, Indiana Jones alone lost them like a shit ton of money.
Yeah, but is Bob Iger, because he did that interview where he's like, we're going to spend less, we're going to do less, we're going to back down.
I think they're on track to lose over $1 billion this year.
Woo! I mean, they can handle it.
And just their movies.
I mean, it used to be like their parks and their cruise lines and stuff like that would kind of make up for some of like the shortfall. But every aspect of Disney is hurting. Like their park attendance is down because everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
Cruise lines are down.
Yeah.
I'm sure that their licensing is down as well. Like there's a lot of, it's almost a perfect storm for Disney because like there's so much stuff going on that's like hurting them, and they just seem kind of tone deaf to it.
I was really looking forward to going to Orlando next year and going on the Galactic Cruiser.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for $6,000 a night.
I was so pumped up.
Wouldn't that be great? You want to spend $12,000 for a weekend?
Go down there. I was going to ask Jay. He's like, "Hey man, come hang out with me for this week."
Yeah.
I was going to buy his
Europe.
I was going to buy his ticket. I was going to buy his ticket and everything.
Literally,
for like
I've
2 weeks.
I'm going to Scotland.
Spend less.
I'm going to Scotland in 2 weeks. It costs less for me to do that than it would be for me to go to Orlando and stay at the Galactic Cruiser. Like, okay, guys, you got to rethink your strategy here.
It's done. It's gone. See you later.
Yeah,
sayonara.
it's over.
Well, I think the cruise lost them like 325 million.
Who knows if these numbers are even real either?
They also lost their special tax status in Florida because of all their BS. So like now they're having. I think now it's more expensive for them to actually like do business in Florida than it used to be.
Tom at the Rogue Attraction is reporting that park attendance was down for June, which was Pride Month.
Nobody wants to take their kids to that kind of stuff.
And that's what Rogue does. He live streams from the parks in Florida. That's his job.
He's nitty gritty in the trenches.
And he knows this shit, man. And it's good to see him. That's very telling. And I'm glad the numbers are down because they need to start getting the message that we're tired of their bullshit. And
how much do you think it'll take? How much? You got one more year left of flops?
But they're losing billions of dollars.
I know. How long are they going to do it for?
So how many times are they going to put a movie out? Can they lose?
And it's just not going to do anything.
Well, they also have that thing where they have to buy Hulu, and that's like a huge price tag.
Stop. Why do they have to buy Hulu? I'm really confused about this.
I don't know. Have any idea?
It was something where when they initially signed the deal to acquire Hulu, I believe it was from Comcast, that they set like these benchmarks where like they had to pony up like these payments in order to take over Hulu, because this was during their big acquisition phase and they just had money coming out the wazoo. But now that the economy's gone on a downturn, they're still on the hook for this acquisition.
I thought they already bought it.
They bought a majority stake, but now they're buying out everyone else who's like involved in it.
Okay, well,
kind of like what Elon had to do with Twitter, because I think at a time it was reported that
Twitter
he didn't want to buy it, but then he was on the hook to buy it because of the.
Well, they actually sued him to make him buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was weird, but
Universal Studios is better park anyway.
Universal is better, but it was one of those weird things where basically Disney had made an acquisition agreement with Comcast, and now that bill is coming due, and so like they have to do it, otherwise if they're in default, they're going to end up paying even more in penalties, and so like it's just it's a mess. But Dub and Valiant Renegade covered this stuff extensively.
Yeah,
So
go check out their channels.
We got to get Valiant on our Saturday show.
We can make that happen. Go check out their channels for the nitty gritty. I don't even pretend to know anything about this kind of stuff. I'm like, whatever. I don't even go to those parks. I've got 3 kids and it's too freaking expensive.
I can't imagine you taking 3 kids to Disney at this time.
It'd be $5,000 a day.
You can't afford it.
Yeah.
No,
that's the problem with Disney. It's not, Disney isn't for us anymore.
No, they priced it up.
It would probably be cheaper for you to go to Europe with your kids than taking
100%.
them to Disney.
Might be. I could
just go to Knott's Berry.
I can find some cheap flights to Germany right now. My friends, he's just like, I got a cheap flight to Germany. I'm flying. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I would say Busch Gardens, but that's also kind of like.
Is Six Flags still around? I don't know.
Yeah, I think Six Flags.
I haven't been to a Six
Flags
in years. My goodness.
You bring a Coca-Cola can to get like $10 off.
When I was growing up, I used to love Busch Gardens. That was my favorite amusement park.
Remember that old bald guy? I
want to go to Dollywood.
Dollywood.
I want to ride the Twin Peaks ride.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Dolly Parton still looks great.
Oh yeah.
I guess if you're in the 90-year-old.
I mean, for a 90-year-old, she looks really good.
My question to the panel is, how much more do they have? How much more gas do they have in the tank to keep doing this?
I don't know.
Depends on how much people are going to just blindly spend at their parks and willing to spend $20 on a popcorn bucket. Like, I don't know.
A lot of people have said that Disney is one of those too big to fail categories.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also been rumors about Apple circling the wagons and thinking about buying Disney out.
God, wouldn't that be nuts? That'd be so crazy. Apple, that'd be too much of a...
So would the Apple symbol be at the parks, like in the
have
middle of the Disney?
They could ship in all of those Chinese slave labor kids to come in and work at the
I feel
park.
like they have a lot of properties they could sell off first before they would have to be completely
purchased by somebody else.
Yeah.
And also, there was something brought up in our other live stream that we did. And WDW was like, well, what would Apple be buying exactly besides a mountain of debt?
Yeah.
And a bunch of assets that they've killed. It'd be tough. We got a super sticker real quick for $1. Oh, that's a pound or a euro?
£1.49.
49.
Wow, that's fancy.
Quid. What's up, Gavin? Thank you so much for the super sticker.
Pence.
Appreciate it.
You learned the hard way about euros, didn't you, Alex?
I did.
Not euros, pounds.
Pounds sterling.
I just say 149 foreign money.
Yeah, foreign money. It's actually worth more than that.
Maybe
because their pound is worth like $1.36 or something like that.
Cool.
It's worth a lot more.
Well, you know,
so
Rogue Attraction in the chat said Tokyo Disney is $67 a ticket. That's pretty good. That's really, a steal.
So we got to fly to Tokyo to have a cheap ticket to Disney.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
That's like 8 billion yen though. So.
My husband always calls them minimum wage balloons. The clear ones with the Mickey ears in them because it costs like an hour of minimum wage to buy one.
Ouch.
I think.
What's up?
I don't know these amusement parks.
Mm-hmm.
I watch videos and I like watching Tom and Jay and them go through these things, but to me,
you ever gonna go to one?
It looks like hell.
It does, doesn't it?
It looks like a level of hell. It's like all these stupid people that I don't want to be around.
It's like when I look at somebody that goes to a
$12 pretzels
or an adult Disney person.
Those are creepy people. I saw this Instagram reel. Some influencer mom or whatever took her family to Disneyland at like 6 a.m. They're like, "This is how we get in."
I want to know how much Rogue would take for him to like go through. It's a Small World after all, for like 12 hours straight.
How big of a super chat?
How big of a super chat would that take?
I think that ride's actually like closed down.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're just changing it to something else. You know, best time I went to Disney a couple years back was on Easter. Nobody in the park. Like rides were 2-minute wait. That's it.
Yeah.
No, best time I went.
That's
I mean,
problem.
I should have been in church, but decided Disney.
I don't do lines. I don't do lines. I hate lines.
Rogue Attractions doing Bane. I was born in it, molded by it. That's great, man.
If you guys don't follow Rogue Attractions, follow his channel.
Yeah, go check him out.
It's good stuff.
I will say I agree with Nadia though. Like I've always had more fun at the Universal parks than the Disney parks.
Yeah.
Our goal is to try to go to Halloween Horror Nights if we can this year. Because there's a Friday the 13th in October this year.
Oh, cool.
I told the wife just not too long ago, it's like if we go back over to LA, I want to go to Universal. I don't care about Disney.
Yeah, Universal
Super
place to be.
Mario World, bro.
Yeah, Super Mario
Yeah, Super Mario World. You got Jurassic Park.
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts.
Yeah, Harry Potter World.
They got so much better assets.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Disney anymore.
Minions. You got Minions and stuff.
Loyalists care. Let me rephrase that.
Simpsons.
Loyalists care about Disney products. The normal people, I think, are moving on.
I feel like Universal has been like the sleeper studio because like they've been really smart about like what movies they've been releasing. Like their children's content's been killing it. Like they've got like their big like Fast and Furious franchises and stuff like that. They seem to be doing really well as
it's
opposed to
affordable
Disney
too. The park is way more affordable than going to Disney.
But they're also owned by like Comcast, which is what Disney has to pay that $1 billion price tag to, for Hulu. So their Peacock streaming service is like one of the few like actual profitable streaming services.
Is it profitable?
Well, they always launch with ads on it. So they, if it's not like revenue neutral, it's at least like profitable for them.
I'm going to be spending some time on Peacock this evening.
We heard about a new show on Peacock. Did you want to talk about it too, right?
Yeah, we can talk about it. Sure. I don't know a lot about it because I never played the game, but it looks awesome.
I didn't make a banner. Let me make a banner real quick.
Twisted Metal. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie, Samoa Joe.
That's Anthony Mackie. The last couple of movies we've seen him in, he's not been great. Even the ones that aren't Disney related.
Wasn't he in that Netflix show where he plays
Altered Carbon?
Thank you. Yes, season 2 of it as well, and that flopped that season.
Well, that's too bad because that was actually a really good show.
Yeah, it was.
Season
it was
1
very
of
good.
Altered Carbon was amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Classic.
Perfection.
Perfect.
We
cool
were actually
sci-fi.
watching that when we first started our podcast.
Yeah, I remember. And I watched season 2, which also I thought was really good.
Really, you like season 2?
I thought season 2 was
I
cool.
couldn't finish season 2.
The one wasn't that the one at the very, very end where he was fighting that chick?
I don't know. I didn't make it.
That chick who was like coming out of the walls.
I didn't make it to the end.
Oh,
so I couldn't tell you.
That was season 1.
Oh, I'm thinking about season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't finish season 2 then.
No, season 2 it was on a different planet and there was all types of like crazy stuff going on. But I actually really enjoyed season 2.
So Twisted Metal, for those who don't know, is I think a PlayStation 1 video game.
2.
PlayStation 2?
So, yeah.
Okay. Either way, it was around when I was in school.
Yeah.
And I played the crap out of it. There was a ton, it was a super popular video game back in the day. And
Post-apocalypse zombies and shit, right?
I don't know if there were zombies, but it was like Mad Max on cocaine.
Yeah.
It was just like you're in a car.
PS1 by the way.
He's a courier
PS1.
or something,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
He's a mailman, basically.
Well, I don't know exactly what the story is, but you are in a car and your car has weapons and you just have to survive and you just have to race through these areas and get from point A to point B and not get blown up. And there's like these iconic characters. One of the iconic characters from the TV show that's in the trailer is like the clown guy. He's got like an ice cream truck or something that has like rocket launchers on the side of it. It was a no-brainer, dumb like video game, but it became super, super popular. And it spawned a bunch of like ripoffs too. I remember Star Wars had a ripoff of that game where you got to fly around in like different Star Wars ships and blow each other up.
Oh, wow.
It was like Star Wars Demolition, I think it was called. That type of game was super, super popular back then.
I'm a Final Fantasy gal.
But now they're making this TV show based on that video game. And it's got all those iconic characters, the iconic cars from the video game are in it. And I guess Anthony Mackie is the star of the show. But it's on Peacock.
Well,
so it's
Anthony Mackie and Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell.
Who's Nev Campbell? Remind me.
You're killing me, Alec.
Oh,
is it Bruce Campbell's daughter or something? What?
From Scream.
Just
Campbell.
Turn your microphone off and go to the other room.
Let the adults have the conversation.
I'm not a horror fan. I didn't watch Scream. I don't know.
Did you ever see Wild Things?
No.
No. No, I don't think so. Are we talking about the baseball?
Did you ever watch Party of Five on TV?
Nope. What are you talking about? These are. Can I Google it real quick?
Yes.
What is Nev Campbell? Let me see his face. Is that a girl?
It's
or
a
her?
It's a girl.
What?
Well, nowadays you never know.
We just lost 14 subs.
No,
I know.
hold on. Let me see
No,
this.
we just dropped 5 people in the chat.
Oh, she's in this?
Viewing,
I'm
yeah.
literally. Let me see.
WG's like, can I get my memberships back?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if there's any movies that I've seen her in besides the one that you guys just mentioned. So Scream.
I mean, she's really known for Scream.
She does a lot of Lifetime movies.
Yeah.
Now.
Lifetime movies.
Yeah, things I'm never gonna watch.
Hallmark movies.
God forbid I don't know
Maybe
who
your
Neve
wife
Campbell
can tell
is.
you about Neve Campbell.
Lion King 2. Oh, guys, she was in the Lion King 2.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know who this person is. I've seen her in a handful of things. Okay, gotcha. On the same page as you now. Anthony Mackie's a much bigger star. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't know. I think Neve Campbell would probably draw more people.
I didn't even know who she was.
I really think I think she might
More
draw
than Captain America.
I think
What?
so. She's got a pretty big following from the
He's not
Scream
Captain America.
movies
He's
and
Falcon.
stuff. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey,
dare you.
hey, do better.
Yeah,
Do
you
better.
Every time I put this shield on,
But you know what?
I'm reminded.
I'm kind of happy
that he's getting away from
that
it.
he's in this because it makes me it doesn't pigeonhole him into
I agree.
these terrible Disney roles. I don't. This isn't nothing to do with Disney, right?
But I
No,
mean,
don't
this
think so.
is the same guy who was in Hurt Locker and
Yeah.
like all this other stuff. Like
I think he's a
He
good
has a
actor.
career before being.
well, but also
you
Anthony
know.
Mackie, like he takes on interesting projects.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think like
He takes risks.
he's not just like a shill. Like in fact, he's kind of come out publicly and kind of criticized some of like the Marvel decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I saw the trailer for this on X. And and I watched the thing. I was like, this actually looks really funny.
Yeah, that's
like
good.
and they released an entire season. It's not like week to week. So
Okay.
Oh,
like,
you love that.
you can sit down and
Kadish
I
loves the
do.
binge.
I do. I love a good binge. So like I definitely want to check this out.
Hey man, this thing's got mutants, car chases, post-apocalypse setting in Vegas.
Never heard
I'm
of it.
in.
Oh, you're in.
I
Yeah.
can't not watch this show.
I'll check it out for
So,
sure. I didn't
yeah.
know it was on Peacock, but I'll check it out. I have that
Yeah.
service too.
I'm sure my husband's gonna want to try it out.
I'll give it a shot. If it's good, it's good. That's
Yeah.
awesome. New content. We're always complaining. Oh, where's the new content?
Yeah.
Where's the new content? Well, now we found
Well,
one.
there's some new
I
content
will
for
say that the last two original shows that I watched on Peacock were excellent. The first one was Mrs. Davis, which surprised me because it was a Damon Lindelof show, but
Ooh.
but it was actually like really good. And then the second one was based on a true story, which was about a couple that make a true crime podcast with an actual serial killer.
I want to see that.
It's really good.
Okay.
It's really
Okay.
good. I would highly recommend it. So like, and Brian tells us this all the time on the Saturday show, where like Peacock is like the sleeper network, where
Mhm.
basically like they keep putting out really good stuff and nobody talks about it. They're kind of like Apple in that respect.
Yeah.
But they have like a lot of like really interest. Like there's a show on there called Brave New World with the guy who played Han Solo in Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Is that based off the book?
Yes.
Okay.
And I watched that, and that was actually really good too.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to get a second season, but they also did a Dan Brown adaptation called The Lost Symbol. So if you're like a what do you call it, a Da Vinci Code,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
like this is kind of like in that universe.
Okay.
So like they got a lot of really interesting stuff on there, and this is like their latest release. So I'm
Isn't that
interested
where
in checking it out.
Yellowstone is too as well?
That's Paramount.
Oh, that's Paramount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peacock.
Okay.
So Peacock and Apple TV are putting out bangers that nobody's talking about.
Prime too sometimes.
Prime can do it.
It's sometimes
They have the capability. Sometimes they're. I mean, we got.
Prime's hit and miss.
Yeah,
I watched
Wheel of
the-
Time or Wheel of Power, whatever it is.
I'm talking about like their more indie, like not their big IP. Like I watched the horror of Dolores Roach, and I
Oh.
thought the horrors of Dolores Roach. Jude recommended
But
it to me,
that's
and I
based
thought
on
it was.
a podcast.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was fun, entertaining. I binged the whole thing in a day.
What I like about Amazon is they will let the creators. Seems like they let the creators do whatever they want to do. So if the
Mhm.
creators woke, then the show's going to end up being woke. But
Yeah.
if you get a guy who does like the Terminal List with Chris Pratt, and it's like super not woke at all, it's just kind of a cool
Jack
freaking
Reacher
Jack
too.
Reacher stuff. Like, it's,
But yeah, Wheel of Time,
Yeah.
Rings of Power. Nah.
So Amazon's hit or miss because the creators are either hit or miss. I
Hey,
think.
just real quick,
Yeah.
Nick Backyard Tardis in the chat. He wanted to ask who was playing Sweet Tooth, and this is one of the reasons I'm really intrigued by the show is because Sweet Tooth is being played by Samoa Joe, the professional wrestler.
Sweet Tooth, is that the?
That's
He's the
clown.
clown.
He's the clown. And Samoa Joe, I
Oh.
believe, is the current Ring of Honor wrestling champion. You can see him every week on AEW.
Okay.
But Samoa Joe, he's I think he looks great in this role.
I like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's good stuff.
What were you gonna say, Nadia?
I liked your $20 super chat.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. We got two all at once. So thank you guys.
Yeah, damn.
First off, Fluffy Panda, member of the YouTube channel, also
Absolutely.
a Patreon member as well. $5. Thank you so much, Fluffy Panda. I know you and I have like a death battle for the Goonies. They comment every single time about the Goonies, and I will
Fluffy
never.
Panda earlier
Why, you don't like 'em?
commented
I hate the
that she
Goonies.
was that.
Did you see it as a child or
No.
as an
Well,
adult?
yes, both. Anyway, we'll get into it later.
Okay.
There's a whole thing about that.
Fluffy Panda, you are incorrect. I have not procreated yet. So just wanted to give you that shout out.
Oh
in chat.
man, wow, that's TMI. Oh ye half cup full fools, you know they're gonna ruin Twisted Metal. How dare you? You know we're not allowed to have any good things. By the way, is rest in peace, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and F. Seth Rogen.
Oh,
Is that bad?
right.
I haven't heard anything good
I
about
No,
it.
it came out that what's the rat's name?
Splinter.
Splinter.
Thank you, is gay.
Oh, of course. Somebody's got to be gay. It's Splinter, everybody.
It's a rat.
The rat is
I'm so
gay.
mad.
What the
You
hell?
told me, but yes.
Oh,
I
It's
know
gay.
that Tom from Midnight's Edge saw it, and all of his expectations were met.
Oh
Apparently,
no.
Oh, no.
I feel so bad for those guys. I can't claim any fandom to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's a cool concept, and if they come out with something dope, I'll watch
The
it.
comics are great.
Yeah,
the
I'm sure-
comics
yeah.
are.
God forbid
The
they
Last
stick to the
Ronin
source
is one of the
material.
best comics I've seen around. Yeah.
You know it's crazy. So I grew up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was a huge TMNT head. I read the comics. I got all the toys. I watched the Saturday morning show. Loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Loved the original 1980s like movie. The sequels, not so much. But what's crazy is that so like you had like them try to reboot the live action. Those movies were not good, especially the sequel.
Right.
That movie was so bad it was insulting. And they've tried rebooting it animated. This new one looks absolutely terrible. I'm like, why can't they get the turtles right? And I'm like, you can just go to the comics and just redo the comics.
Because they can't stick to source material, Matt. That's why.
And it's Seth Rogen.
You know, I had
Doesn't fit their
the
modern
original comics.
eyes. What's that?
I had the original black and white comics.
Really? I have to check them out sometime. I've never gotten into Ninja
I don't have them
Turtles.
anymore.
I would love to. I mean, I love the idea of it. I've just never dipped my toe in the pool, and
The Last Ronin's really good. The current run of it's very good.
I have to check.
Listen, Nadia,
Yeah.
nothing new is good.
No, this one is actually good.
You need to get that shit through your fucking
No,
brain.
this
If
one.
you're gonna hang out with me,
one's
nothing
actually
new
good.
is good.
This one's
Okay.
actually good.
$20 super chat
Well,
for
I will
Bob
bring
Dorsey.
you one to read, and
She-
then you can tell me.
She did
Nothing
like
new is
Barbie,
good.
so she's
Yeah.
already.
Why did you invite her?
I'm
Why?
going to be here
why
for
are
a
you
while,
Why
bro.
are you sitting there?
I'm going to be here for a
Listen,
while.
they didn't consult me.
That's all right with me.
They did not consult
You
me.
guys can fight this out later. $20 from Bob Dorsey. Bob Dorsey is a huge supporter of the channel. Thank you so much, Bob. $20. Prime's Vox Machina, which I've heard really good things about.
That's based
Also,
off Critical Role's D&D
yeah.
campaign.
Arcane,
That's all right.
League of Legends Arcane was a
Mhm.
freaking dope animated show that came out on Prime.
It's kind of gay.
What?
Box smashing. It's kind of.
Oh, I haven't
Well, I
watched
mean, there's a
that.
bard in there, and he pretty
But
much
yeah,
does everything in
all
around.
bards are
yeah.
gay.
Just don't watch with the kids.
Yeah, don't watch it with the kids. It's not meant for kids.
Noted.
Yeah,
But I will say, like, I've been looking forward to watching season 2 of Vox Machina because I thought season 1 was really good,
Yeah.
Season 2 is
and
pretty good.
supposedly season 2 is even better than season
Yep.
1.
I watched the first episode.
It's good,
The
man.
dragons are badass.
So I can't listen to Critical Role. I like to play. I just can't listen to someone else playing. It's just not for me.
I've tried watching
Yeah.
Critical Role a
It's
couple of
just-
times, and I'm like, I don't see what people
Yeah.
I don't
liked
get-
about this.
Yeah, I can't
But-
pay attention to
But
it.
the cartoon
but
version
they're-
is really
yeah.
good.
Their campaign, yes, very
Yeah, they
good.
basically just took the campaigns that they did for their YouTube channel and translated them into like animation.
Yep.
And it's like really good.
Yeah.
But I will say that there was this one time where they had Joe Montigliano on. I believe that's how you pronounce
Joe
his name.
Magnolia.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody says
He's a
his
big
name right.
D&D nerd.
Yeah. So, I Al Saeed from True Blood anyway.
Sure.
So he was a big D&D guy, and he got involved with Critical Role, and he did this thing that fucked everyone over on purpose. Like he got like some like legendary artifact, and then just like mic dropped and like walked out, and everyone was like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like if you can find this on YouTube, it's epic because like I think they interviewed him afterwards about like how did you plan this out? And he went through like in detail like his evil plan on like how to do this whole thing, and he's like, if just one thing went wrong, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. As a former DM, I totally appreciate that.
Well, they crowdfunded the first season too. It was, I believe, Kickstarted or in some way, and then it took off, and then they got renewed for the season 2 of their Vox Machina, the animation for it, not the actual live stream of their D&D sessions. But yeah, it's really good. Great animation too.
Yeah, it's good.
We got another $5 from Fluffy Panda. Says Hijack with Idris Elba is really good, and it's a weekly thing. So I've been having to wait each week.
Oh no,
though it's on Apple TV. That's another place. Apple TV dropping bangers, and nobody's talking about it.
Silo was one of the best shows I've seen all year.
You guys have done nothing but praise Silo since it came out.
Great.
I still got to finish Servant.
I can't watch that show. It's
I
too
think
creepy.
is it Blackbird that was out? That one was really good.
That was a good one. I just finished watching that.
I'm kind of convinced that Apple just makes TV for
tax write-off. Yeah,
because they don't market anything.
They don't care. They're like, we'll give viewers maybe.
They got good stuff over there.
Yeah,
and
I mean, the new season of Foundation just dropped.
Yeah,
I want to see that too.
Have you seen the first season?
I haven't. No.
Oh, okay.
No. I really got into Apple TV only a couple months ago, but I heard The Crowded Room with Tom Holland wasn't that great.
I've heard mixed things about that. Some people really seem to like it. There's this one show on there called The After Party, which is kind of like a humorous, cozy mystery. That's really good.
Okay.
Like there are a lot of really good TV. I know that For All Mankind is supposed to be amazing. I couldn't get past the first couple episodes of season 1, but like it's gone for like 3 or 4 seasons now, and so like people keep talking about how good it is. I want to check it out.
So you guys think like when people are like, "Oh my God, there's nothing good out anymore. Everything's woke. Everything's crappy. The writing's terrible. Yada yada yada."
You're not looking hard enough.
But yeah, I'm like, we're sitting here talking about 7 or 8 different shows that are also Peripheral, also on Amazon Prime, is a freaking dope sci-fi show.
Well, I always bring up From was great.
You guys talk about that all the time.
Yeah, MGM. I mean, I think it's because one, a lot of it doesn't have like well-named stars that are in it, and 2, they're not marketed. People, I think maybe you guys are right. Maybe it is a tax write-off.
The Backyard TARDIS Foundation is woke crap. I guess if you're a fan, I'm going to side with Jude on this one. If you're a fan of the books and the original content that this TV show is based off of, yeah, you're probably right. It does not line up. It's got a lot of modern day nonsensical stuff in it. But as a consumer who's never read the books, I have no foundation, pun intended, on what this show is supposed to be about. Series. It's fun. It's new. I love the freaking the.
Is it sci-fi?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very highbrow sci-fi.
Kind of like Expansion. Is that the one on Amazon?
The Expanse.
Thank you.
It's less action packed than that. It's more like think your way through.
This is a highbrow sci-fi show.
Okay. I really want to go back and watch Battlestar Galactica. No. That's the one I want to really kind of dive into.
Disagree with that. I'm surprised. Nick usually doesn't pull that woke card, so it must mean something to him.
I mean, it's woke.
He's a book fan.
Yeah. It's woke in the aspect that there's a diverse cast of characters.
But they change things from the books because the main character in the books is like a white dude.
I don't see it as a woke show. They're just telling a story set in the far, far future with a bunch of people.
You know what's woke and also a trash adaptation is The Witcher.
Oh yeah,
that was bad.
Nice. You're better at these segues than I am.
I know they did my boy
Rest
dirty.
in peace, The Witcher. I didn't watch it. I stopped watching.
I wasn't talking about the other stuff yet.
What other stuff?
It doesn't matter now. We segued.
We can go back.
We can still talk about stuff during this segment. Like it's all about adaptations.
Get one of these pretty soon.
Oh, would you put the freaking alcohol down, bro? Jeez. The Witcher. I don't know. I like the first season. Is this the second, third,
and probably the final?
I don't comment on stuff I haven't seen. So.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
By the way, the only reason why I watched it, is because I was like, okay, I want to see this switch of Liam Hemsworth. I always say Liam Nielsen for some reason.
No, it's the lesser Hemsworth.
I know.
Yeah.
The wish list Hemsworth. Yes. I wanted to see how they were going to kind of it's not in it.
There's no transition
unless
whatsoever.
They filmed it and decided like, oh, we're gonna get a lot of heat for this, and they cut it.
So was he supposed to be at the end of the season?
I don't know.
No. So like, here's the interesting thing, right? So basically, Netflix had agreed to 5 seasons of The Witcher, and when Henry Cavill stepped down at the end of this season, he was going to be replaced next season with Liam Hemsworth, and they were going to go for 2 more seasons to kind of wrap things up. Now, however, with the actors' strike and stuff like that, Netflix might be looking at this as the opportunity to basically just cancel the series as a get out of jail free card because they were on the hook for 2 more seasons. Now they're like, oh, this might be a good time to just bow out of this. So the future of this franchise is still in flux. But there were rumors that basically Liam Hemsworth was going to play a alternate dimension version,
like a multiverse.
Like a multiverse.
That was the excuse.
And basically, and you know, there's a premise for this in The Witcher, which was the conjunction of spheres, where basically, you know, different worlds kind of collide, and you know, different people can kind of come in from like different worlds. And so the idea was that this was like it was the same Geralt, but from like a different dimension. And basically he would come in and like replace, and that would, you know, explain why he replaced Henry Cavill. But apparently they're not doing that. Like, I don't know what they have planned, but like, I honestly hope that season 3 of The Witcher is the last season.
Me too.
Because the people running this show hate The Witcher. And I don't know why they want to keep making a show about something that they hate.
Because they want to change.
Well, from my understanding in the books, the first couple books are short stories put together.
So the first novel is the short stories collected together.
But Ciri and they don't come in until like down the line, right? They like mostly about stories of him and him battling monsters. And from my understanding, I bought the first book. I don't know. I want to read it first to kind of understand really where the hate is coming from. I don't like it because it's not a well-written show.
The second book in the series is where like it becomes like a standard novel length, and that's where you start getting the story with like Ciri and the political intrigue and all that stuff. The first novel, The Last Wish, is basically when The Witcher first started, it was published as a series of short stories in magazines. And so the first novel is actually just a collection of those short stories together. And I read that first because I wanted to kind of see like how Geralt evolved essentially into the one that goes throughout the books. And then the video games actually pick up where the books end. And so all the video game stuff is what happens after the books. And I feel like the Netflix series was based off of the novels because they had the novel rights and they didn't have the video game rights. So like all the stuff that the video games created, they couldn't use in the first season. I think they eventually came to some type of agreement, but that's why like so much of the iconic Witcher stuff that the video games created isn't in the first season. So like the whole show has been like a kind of like a crap fest since the beginning. And the main showrunner of the show, according to
absolutely hates the source
according to Henry Cavill, like there have been people who came out of that writer's room. They're like, they just sit there and rag on the source material the whole time when they're trying to like plot out episodes. And
Henry Cavill's over here like, I like this show. I like the series. Like, what are you guys talking about?
He is sidelined entirely in this whole thing.
Well, they called him toxic because he actually knew the source material.
The titled character is sidelined in his own series.
Nonsense. We got 2 super chats from Fluffy Panda, $2. Did you see they ruined the end of Blacklist? Is that one with David something? What's his name? Not David Spade, but the guy who played Ultron.
David Spader.
Is it?
I think so. But so when it comes to the Blacklist, I feel like it got ruined in season 3 and I just lost interest in it, but it's been going for like 10, 11 seasons, something like that.
I've never seen it.
Another super chat to have to do with the same subject. $5. Man, Fluffy, you have been super generous today. Thank you so much. They ruined the end of Blacklist 2. Also, what a waste of Henry Cavill.
Oh, what a waste,
He was
man.
perfect. I don't blame him for leaving. Whole episode of Ciri, Lost in the Desert.
That was awful.
Was that bad?
This whole season's been about girl. It's literally been about Yennefer and Ciri girl bossing their way entirely through each episode and trying to figure it out. And they just like sideline The Witcher the entire time, and it just, I don't get it. Like there's no balance between it, you know.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
James Spader, thank you.
Why can't these studios make shows and movies based on the source material faithfully?
Because they want to change it. They want to put their fingerprint on it, and if it doesn't meet up with their ideological thoughts,
you're not making what you say you're making if you change it up.
Well, they need something to springboard their own thoughts off of, because they can't make their own stuff. It's too much work, and nobody's going to take a risk.
I'm going to make a Star Wars movie, and it's going to star Darth Vader, but I'm just going to retell the story of the 3 little bears, of the 3 bears, where Darth Vader is Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vader's a 50-year-old man with a white beard, and Shady Miles t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's really sad too, because I don't think
just
they'll
don't
ever
understand.
redo this. It'll be many years before The Witcher is ever probably rebooted into another series.
I'm gonna redo Snow White. But I'm gonna have 6 full-grown adults and 1 dwarf.
And they're going to be called magical creatures.
Yeah, we can't call them dwarves.
I will say I'm pretty excited for Cavill's Warhammer series.
Is that going through?
I mean, I'll be
that
excited about it when I see something from it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of talk right now. I haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah, because the studio hasn't backed
It's
him
like,
yet.
hey, Henry Cavill's developing some Warhammer shit. Cool. That's going to be amazing.
In 8 years.
When I'm 77 years old, I don't know if it's ever going to come out. Warhammer is.
There's a vast amount of.
With today's audience, Warhammer won't make it.
You don't think so?
No.
It's a pretty niche market.
Warhammer.
I'll go see it because I know him.
Warhammer is so anti-woke. It is unbelievable. If today's studios got a hold of Warhammer, it would be awful.
They'll Rings of Power it.
Oh, it wouldn't even remotely be what Warhammer is.
Someone in the chat made a good point where basically they should just have Henry Cavill painting his Warhammer figurines.
I would watch that.
I would watch the shit out of
it.
Games Workshop is notoriously finicky about what they let get done.
That's good.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, but I listen, I hope this happens. I can almost sit here and guarantee you that we are never going to see a faithful Warhammer adaptation on TV.
I don't know. I mean, he's pretty passionate about it. I feel like his problems with The Witcher would maybe make him tread a little carefully with the next project he works on with something as big as this IP.
But developing something and it actually coming to fruition are 2 different things.
Yeah.
And I don't see it happening. Not in today's climate. Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, I don't see it happening because it will get protested immediately.
Yeah, I can see that.
Warhammer 40K it's dark. It's really cool, but it's dark. And
the lore is really cool.
The lore is dope.
Warhammer.
Yeah, it's so.
Do you think the general audience would attach to it, or is it going to be made just for people like you guys who already know about it?
I think especially if you base it off the lore, I think it has potential to kind of open up to audiences of all types.
Mm-hmm.
But as Vader's saying, like if they don't stick to the source material, they're going to ruin it, just like Rings of Power
or Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's true of anything. You can say, this is a great source material.
I mean, I'll watch Henry Cavill do.
I would.
That's
what I was
right?
Have you seen the? It was like YouTube promos for The Witcher when he would just sit down and read a chapter out of The Witcher.
Okay
I'm like, let's just make a bunch of those, man. You'd probably make more money.
I'm okay with it.
You'd have every person who's into Henry Cavill.
Story time with Henry Cavill.
I would
99 cents an episode, puts a video podcast out
and
of him
he's
reading.
shirtless in the tub.
Good. Do it.
Talking in this voice.
Yeah. He'd make so much money.
Zach says Henry's girlfriend is producing a show. Don't tell me he has a girlfriend, Zach. All right. Keep that out.
Yeah, let the fantasy roll.
Just say he is an acquaintance.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when a stripper tells you that she's single.
Yeah, exactly.
Henry Cavill's single forever.
Yeah,
forever.
Oh, it's got to have that mystique.
Yeah, exactly.
I would just rather never see Warhammer get made
than have it ruined.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just.
That's how I feel about the Dresden Files, even though there was that one crappy sci-fi season. I would rather it not be made into a series because I know they're going to just put a bunch of bullshit into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just rather not see an IP that I enjoy so much be ruined.
I think a lot of people would agree with you guys. I think that's most fans are like, if you're going to kill it, don't make it. Just leave it. I like the way it is now. I like the book that I read or the comic that I read. I don't need to see it on screen if you're going to ruin it.
Well, the real shame is when someone takes something that hasn't been adapted before and does it poorly. Like, for instance, we talked about the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
The Wheel of Time was an abomination.
Never saw it.
And it was one of those things where fans of that book, like huge fan base, have been wanting to see a live action adaptation of this thing for like decades. And they finally get it, and they completely change everything about that show. Like it was insultingly bad.
I was told if I was going to read the books to avoid the show at all costs.
Oh yeah.
And they're on my TBR to read. So yeah.
Interesting. I'm reading the Meg 2 right now.
I'm reading.
Yeah. Reading. I'm listening to it.
I'm reading Codex of Valeria.
I'm consuming.
Book, so.
Can I say that?
Yes.
Am I consuming the Meg 2?
For the movie?
Yeah. For the
Or,
movie.
or so that Jude would go see the movie.
Yeah, Jude's bet with me like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to tell people who might not know, but like I had a bet with Jude. Jude loathes the Meg because she loves the book, and the movie is not the same as the book. So she refuses to see the Meg 2, but I'm like, it looks so freaking fun. I need to go see it, and I want to take her with me. And she's like, I'll go, but you have to listen to / consume the first 2 books in order that you're on the same page as me when we walk into that movie theater. And I'm like, God dang it. I don't
think that's a fair bet.
It was like 30 hours of content for me to catch up with. I still got 10 hours to go or something like that. So
and you hate the narrator.
Oh, the narrator's so bad. It makes it tough to listen to, but it's a thing. I'm going to do it because I want her to go see it.
I've never read the books, and she invited me to go see it. So I can go see it without having to read the books.
So I've already got her assuming.
But you've seen the first movie.
Yes, I have. Yeah. So for the longest I was like, why does she not want to go see it? She likes shark movies.
She loves shark movies.
And then she told me about why, and I was like, oh, it makes sense.
I'm not sure if it does, man, because like I read the Jurassic Park book.
It's completely different than the
it's better and different than the movie.
Completely
I still
different.
love the movie. It's still fun. So like sometimes if they don't like completely ruin it, like if you're watching something, you're like, yeah, that's based off the book. It's got some elements here. It's got the spirit of what the book is about. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
let's go.
The Meg original Meg has none of that.
None.
And it's got Jason Statham, who Jude is not a fan.
I think she doesn't like Jason Statham because of the movie. It wasn't before the movie, was it?
I think it was a confluence of events that led to her hatred of Jason Statham.
What's the movie he's in where he has to constantly keep moving? Otherwise,
Crank.
That's what it is.
That's a fun movie.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. It's fun.
It's terrible.
I didn't say it was good. I said it was fun. Speaking of movies that we want to see that are coming out, so Meg 2 is coming out pretty soon. Hopefully, we'll be checking that out in a week or so. And then the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is I want to build some hype for this: The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Dracula on a boat.
Dracula on a boat. So Dracula on a boat. We saw the trailer for this a couple of weeks ago
in front of Renfield.
Yeah, and we were like, so we went to see a vampire movie.
And got vampire trailer.
We saw a trailer for a better vampire movie.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Well, we'll find out. But it was a good trailer. I have confidence though. This freaking the trailer looks good. Everything all the promos I'm seeing for this thing look good.
And it's a story that was never told. Like it was kind of glossed over in the Dracula novel.
Yeah. The Dracula novel was like, oh, he got in a boat and he went from point A to point B.
I mean, I like vampire movies. I want to go see it, but also my boy David Jasmiel is in it. And
Onion Knight.
He was one of the guys on Ant-Man's team, and I worked with him.
He was Polka Dot Man
when I was a student, and I did a student film with him, and he was an actor in it. This was before he became big.
Yeah.
And I was watching the trailer, and I turned to Chris, I go, fuck, is that David?
He's in everything.
He just shows up on. I think he's in Oppenheimer too.
Yeah, he's in Oppenheimer. I
was like, holy shit.
He's in. I just watched Prisoners with Hugh Jackman.
His birthday came up on my Facebook, like, hey, so and so's birthday. I was like, oh, I hope everything's all right, bro. It looks like it is.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's in he pops up as a side character in every freaking movie I see.
But I
didn't know he was in this too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for him.
I'm with Vader. I like vampire movies. I don't like survival movies. That's when I was listening to you guys earlier. I like shark movies, but I don't like survival movies.
What do you mean?
So where it's a character in a situation where they have to survive, and all gruesome things happen to them, like sharks. I think there's one called Frozen where they're like frozen on a ski lift, fall where they're stuck on the top of a tower.
Maybe that was my problem with that movie.
Yeah, I don't like I like shark movies like Deep Blue Sea and stuff, but I don't like if it's a concept of survival in it.
I mean, technically all shark movies are survival movies.
I meant like in an individual. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I don't understand what you mean, because like isn't every shark movie technically a survival movie? It's like somebody survives.
I mean, there's survival movies, but there's a difference between you just being the sole survivor and you having to be the one to figure it out and go up against things.
You like the shark movies where the shark is basically it's a monster movie
Yeah.
as opposed to like
That's better explaining
like
it.
someone
Yeah.
trying to survive in a
Okay.
situation.
Yeah.
What's up? You look like you wanted to say something.
I forgot. I just say that movie was it was just not scary. And
Oh, Shallows.
yeah,
Yeah, you were.
we talked about
complaining
that earlier today.
Yeah.
It's going to be released next week, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Not for me.
But that's
But what about the Demeter? You were pretty hyped for that when we saw the trailer.
It looks fun. I have no idea what to expect because they're just taking a little snippet out of the Dracula story and let's make a movie about it.
Yeah.
That's
I
like,
love.
It's like let's make a movie about Dracula's wives. Okay, let's just make a bunch of bullshit up and have some fun.
I'm gonna
The
go out.
BBC
I'm
Dracula.
gonna go out on a limb here and ask if any one of you have ever seen Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead.
No.
What is that?
So this is a movie. It's got Tim Roth and Gary Oldman in it. And it's basically a movie where they took two minor characters from Shakespeare's play Macbeth
Mhm.
and made them the main characters in their own story. And basically these two characters die in Macbeth. And so like it's all about this team up that they have leading up to their deaths. It's worth checking out if you like ironic stuff, but it's one of those things where basically like they took these two minor characters and a minor incident in Macbeth and made an entire movie out of them. And that's basically what the Demeter is going to be.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. I love the concept of it. Like you said, it's just a tiny little snippet in the book.
Snakes on a plane meet Dracula on a boat.
Yeah. But
Sir, I like this comment from Sir Canos. Some movies are survival because you have to still be alive when the end credits roll, and I think that's why I didn't like that movie. I said this earlier. I never felt like she was in trouble, and a lot of these movies, I don't ever feel like there's any
because if
distress. If the movie's about one character,
you're not going to die at the end.
You're not gonna die.
I got you.
You know,
See, that's the thing about the Demeter is I don't know. I mean, it's a claustrophobic movie.
Everybody
about
dies
a
and he
crew
goes
on
to
a boat.
London.
Doesn't everybody in the book everybody dies
I
on
don't
that
know.
ship? Or I think
That is correct. Basically the ship is a ghost ship by the time it comes
it
into port.
arrives. Yeah.
Yeah.
This would
It's
be
like
dope.
so we know how it ends already.
But well, we don't know if all the characters on the ship die. They might somehow escape.
Or become his minion or something. You know
Yeah.
what's a really good BBC's Dracula series, which is on Netflix, is really
Really?
yeah.
Is it like an old BBC show
It's
or a
kind-
newer?
It's a newer one. It's
I
like
can't
it.
agree with you on that one.
Ah,
I
I like it. It makes a fun of itself in a lot of ways. That's why I like it.
I actually like the one that what's his name, Jonathan Rhys Meyers did for NBC a while back. But whatever.
Hold on a second.
I got
a joke to review on the chat.
I want to address that.
Jay, I love you, buddy. I put the Twitter account away a long time ago because I am terrible on Twitter. I handed it over to this gentleman here, who's maybe worse.
The Twitter is all me, bro. That's what people need to understand.
You mean the X?
Yeah,
the
the
X.
X.
The X is all me. And I didn't trash you.
For liking Saw.
I just asked you why. Because he's like, hey, he asked, what order of these movies should I watch them in? And everybody's like, duh, dude, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, how many are out there. And I just reply with why. Why do you want to watch this movie? And it turned into this whole thing. It was kind of fun.
It was fun, yeah. But I do not run the Salty Nerd
Twitter is all
podcast
me.
Twitter.
Twitter is me.
I gave it to Vader because I just say dumb stuff too much. And these guys were like, please stop. And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll stop. Here, give it to somebody else.
I say a lot of dumb stuff too.
You're the good one in the bunch. No, I'm not much better than Vader, but we do love you, Jay, man. God dang it, man. I got your book in the mail. I gave it to my kid.
Yeah.
And he read it like immediately.
Yeah.
I walked away and I was like, hey man, I got this for you. My friend made it and it's for kids. So here, have a look at it, see if you like it. And I came back like 15 minutes later. He's like, I'm done. Like, you finished it already? He's like, yeah, I liked it. It was cool. I'm like, holy crap.
Wow. Speed reader.
He does. He reads a lot.
That's
good.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a pivot.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
isn't it fun watching our friends be successful?
It's super cool, man. I'm so happy that I was able to buy
really
a
do.
product that my friend made and be like, I had it in my hands.
Uh-huh.
It's a physical thing. It was super cool. I
Awesome.
understand why Eric July's comic book series is like blowing up. Because like if you watch that guy on YouTube and you're a fan of his and you create something you can actually physically hold, like it's a thing.
I think people
get
are
into it.
hungry for different types of content
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
Just not the same woke trash that's just being put out by the mainstream type of media.
And specifically with Jay's comic book that he made,
especially for kids
for
too.
kids, that was one of the things that he was like, I need content that's safe for kids. There's not enough of it out there.
Which is sad.
That's super sad, right? It's really, really sad. But like for me, I'm a father of 3, and I saw Jay make this comic book specifically safe for kids to consume.
We've been trying to get Jay on one of our live streams for forever. But
he live streams at the same time we do.
It never works out. It's like, come on, man.
He's probably late for a live stream right now.
Probably.
But no, it was super cool, man. I'm glad I was able to support you, and my kid loved it. So keep it up. I hope there's a sequel coming out. I'll buy that one as well. But yeah, shout out to Jay and his awesome comic book. I'm not going to try to say the name because I screw it up every time. I can't pronounce. It's like acronym blue or something like that.
That's pretty good.
I don't know how to say it. But yeah, it was super cool. I forgot to bring it in. I was supposed to, but I forgot. Anyway,
4 more to go. It's only the first of 5.
Oh, sweet. Excellent. I'm in line, dude. Yeah, hit me up. I'm in line. I'll pre-order the next one as well. The last topic on our show today, we're going to talk about Captain Fall.
The last topic?
Well, we're an hour and 15, so I mean, we can whatever. It's the last one I have. Do you have more?
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
You give me some solutions here, buddy.
Yes, produce Vader. Produce.
Yes.
Shut up.
You want to complain about my topics? Give me a topic.
I'm not complaining. I said last one. Really? Last one?
Yeah, this is the last one I got.
Lord, man. What is your deal?
What is your deal?
I don't know what the fuck's your deal.
Stop drinking those energy drinks. They're making you cranky. All right.
She's out of here.
Captain Fall. Wait, are you for real?
It's too stressful.
No.
She's like, fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
This is just how we roll.
Well, now she's not going to have any context.
I know. I have to wait until she comes back. Because she was asking me about Captain
Fall.
Fill
the dead air.
Dead air time. Dead air time.
Well, have at it, buddy.
I don't know. What?
So
Tito's. That's good for you.
So Vader, why don't you talk about how much you hate it when 15-year-old boys mess with your computers?
Oh, dude, did I tell you this story?
Do you want to tell it publicly?
I don't care.
Okay, go for it.
It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I have a house guest right now, and this house guest, he's a kid. He's a 14-year-old kid, and he's touching all my stuff, and it's driving me crazy. It's like he lives on the computer like most 14-year-olds do these days, right?
Sure.
And I come home from work and
he's on your computer.
He's on my computer. And I'm like
logging you off of freaking.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Dude, and for context, guys, if somebody just sits in his chair, we won't even tell him, and he'll be like,
if somebody touches his D&D dice, he throws them away.
Yeah.
Don't ever.
So this is a big deal for you.
Yeah, it's like it's hard.
I thought you literally ran away.
It's hard. It's like there's only. It's like you don't want to touch my computer and don't ever touch my wife. Those are the two things.
And dice.
And your dice.
And it's just, it's hard. It's like, why are you touching my shit?
Did you kick them out yet?
I went home last night. I was like, I had to come to the studio last night because I couldn't sit in my man cave room and watch TV and watch this kid touch my computer, and it was driving me nuts.
Are you talking about your grandkid?
No, I'm talking about a house guest I have right now.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, okay.
You know, it is fine. It's cool. He's a good kid. He's not hurting anything. But there's just some weird mental block that I have. It's like, I don't like people touching my shit. You know what I mean?
That's why I didn't touch your.
Yeah, don't touch my cup.
Like,
God damn. What are you doing? And
you're so cranky.
It's just I go home I came out of the studio just to get out of the house. Like, I can't watch him mess with because he's going back on my chair, he's fucking with my chair settings. I'm like,
you can put it back.
Yeah, but it's mine. It's
Were you the younger brother?
Huh? No.
You were the older one.
My little brother knows not to touch my shit.
Okay. That makes sense.
And
that makes sense because my oldest son is the same way. He's like, don't touch my stuff.
Yeah, don't touch my stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
And,
I mean, I'm the oldest of 8. I'm not like that.
I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to not like cause a scene. I don't want to go in there. It's like, dude, you gotta like get on my room. Go fuck with your phone.
Start touching my stuff. Play on your iPad. Did he bring anything of his own?
No, he has his phone. And
that's it.
Whatever. I'm just trying to be cool about it, and then it's never gonna happen again. I already told the wife, no more.
Oh man,
it's just happening again. But yeah, it's just a weird thing.
So now that Nadia's back, Captain Fall.
Oh, you guys
Netflix.
waited for me.
We did.
Thank you.
So
I was like, I don't even know what this is. But all right.
Captain Fall, it's an animated TV show on Netflix that is produced by some friends of ours that also produced one of our favorite shows of Norsemen. These are Norwegian writers. Norsemen's a fantastic TV show. I highly recommend you guys go check it out.
Yeah, it's like History's Vikings meets The Office.
That's what. Yeah, I know.
It's great. It's got.
But I haven't seen Vikings either.
Such a good sense of humor. And then they took a break. Season 3 came out, and then Netflix canceled the show, and then they moved on to this new project called Captain Fall. They've been working on it for a few years. It finally came out. So I was excited for it. I remember like, oh, Captain Fall, that's Jon Iger's, that's his show. We're
Jon
gonna go check it out.
Yeah.
And we started watching it, and like in the group chat, because I think you told us that it was live on Netflix. We're like,
well, my brother sent me a text. He's, hey, isn't Captain Fall the Norseman guy's cartoon?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I think it is.
Yes,
it was released on Netflix with zero fanfare. Like Netflix didn't tell anyone that it was dropping.
Yeah. And of all the people that should know about it, it would be us. So
what is it about?
It's hard to say. It's about this young kid who is basically just a fall guy for this big organization that does a bunch of like black market stuff.
So it's a spoof on James Bond movies with like a shadowy criminal organization meets The Love Boat.
Kinda.
Okay.
And Captain Fall, it's his actual name. His Jonathan Fall, I think is his name. His character. He is literally the fall guy. They put him in place as a captain of this cruise ship that's doing all this nefarious stuff, so that when things go south or if they get caught by the authorities, they can put everything on him. It's all his idea.
He's family
he's the fall
animation
guy.
or an adult animation?
Oh, adult. Very
adult.
Yeah. Very, very adult.
Like to the extent of like Big Mouth or
there's sex scenes and naked and swearing and violence and blood.
So there's that conspiracy theory one about some lady that works for like the CIA animation on Netflix. Is it similar to that?
I'd say it's close to Archer in terms of style, and was it that one on Amazon with super gory, like
Invincible.
Yeah.
Oh, I like Invincible.
Yeah,
okay, now you got me. You got me. All right,
it's not Invincible, but it's that level of violence.
Like
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, I like violence, so
it's definitely it's not for kids. It's definitely an adult show.
Yeah,
but,
so the weird. Go ahead.
Yeah, the weird thing is like we were all like we love Norsemen. And when these are both the same showrunners that did Norsemen, when they were like, hey, we're doing this animated show called Captain Fall, we were like, oh, freaking dope. It's going to be just as good. And we all started watching it in our group text. We were like, are we all on board with this? Like, I mean, like it just didn't have the same charm.
I'm honestly surprised we're even talking about it right now.
Well, we love the guys, but we're honest with everything that we talk about. I mean,
So is it worth my time or not? No.
Well, you're how many episodes in?
3? I made it an episode and a half, and I said I'm not watching this anymore.
Okay.
Other than Barbie, Vader and I are pretty on par with opinions.
So it might not be for you. And Kadish and I agree. It's a rough start.
He's only watching it because he can't not watch it.
So
because he started it,
but you're not listening to what we're talking about. I'm 7.5 episodes in. And as you go along, the deeper into the show you get, it finds its groove.
It kind of finds its footing.
It gets better as you go. Like early on the show, the humor is kind of weird, and I think the reasoning is like it's written by the same guys that did Norseman, but Norseman's a live action show, so the actors can kind of put more emphasis on their facial expressions and things like that you don't get
body language
that you don't get in animation. So even though the dialogue might be similar and it has a similar sense of humor, it just doesn't come across the same because it's animated.
Yeah, I know that for me, Norseman took a few episodes for me to get into it, to start getting the joke.
Okay.
And with this show, so the first couple episodes are rough because you're not familiar with any of these characters. You're not familiar with the kind of plot line that they're going for. The jokes don't really land. A lot of it's, you could even argue it's pretty gross.
Okay.
And then about midway through the season, like right after the Swingers Club thing.
Swingers Club.
Yeah.
Hardcore Swingers Club episode.
Yeah. So like each episode has like a different kind of like criminal activity storyline that kind of intersects with like the cruise ship storyline. And most of the episodes focus on this like kind of like side business thing that the criminals have going on. And once you kind of like wrap your brain around that, it starts getting better.
Okay.
And you start understanding the jokes. And it's one of those shows where when you might not like the episode you watch, but when you start talking about it with other people who've seen it, it becomes really entertaining.
So me and Kadish earlier today, we were talking about this one episode that we both seen, and when I watched the episode, I was like, oh, that was kind of weird. The jokes didn't really land. I think there was a Tiger King reference in there somewhere, and it's like this super strange storyline. But as we're talking about it, we start feeding off each other, going, oh my God, yeah, remember that one part? Yeah, that's totally Carol Baskin. And this other dude, and then the young Ivor guy got eaten by a tiger. And it was just like, we started laughing about talking about it. So I think it's one of those shows where like, once you invest your time into getting it, you start understanding the jokes, you get to know the characters. And I feel like it might be funnier on a rewatch.
Yeah.
Like if we go back, after we finish the first season, we go back and watch it again, we'll probably get the earlier episodes a lot more than we did on the first watch.
But like, without a doubt, like my least favorite episode was the Swingers Club episode. However, going back and talking about what that episode was about, because I was trying to explain it to Jude, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty funny. You know, like just to give you an example. Okay, so like one of the things we loved about Norsemen is that they'll take like weird everyday stuff and kind of inject it into Vikings. So there's a great scene in Norsemen where the bad guy, Jarl Varg, is sitting down with all of his henchmen, and they're like, do we really have to do all the raping? Because I have some daughters, and I just don't feel like it's a good example.
My wife really doesn't like when they do those kind of things. You know?
So there's a scene in one of the Captain Falls episodes where there are these two henchmen, and they're cutting off like gorilla hands to make ashtrays out of them for like this weird like smuggling thing. And as they're doing this, they're just talking about how like they hate being henchmen. Yeah. And then one of the guys just starts telling jokes, and the other guy's like, hey, you should follow your dreams and be a comedian.
Yeah. And it's like these two henchmen going back and forth, and they're like, you know, it's really hard to step away from the henchman duties because you just get used to the income.
You gotta be German, not Norseman.
Oh, sorry. It's very hard. I can't do the German thing. It's very hard to change careers like that. You know, it's just not. It's not
the same.
Sorry. I'll stop then. It was just the joke between the two of them, and you get like 5 minutes of this in the middle of the episode. You're like, what love,
right?
And it just kind of because it's animated, it's really different.
It's hard to digest.
It's hard to digest it. But going back and watching it again, I'm like, that bit was funny. And I go back and watch the Swingers episode, and I'm like, that freaking Chewbacca guy was freaking hilarious. Like he's laughing because he knows what I'm talking about.
Or like the Asian guy who runs the mini mart
with the one beard that comes out of his bowl.
And he keeps stepping on it.
He's like, would you please get off my beard? And he just like lifts his foot. Yeah. And there's this one hair that comes off this guy's giant mole. And he has
after he sells him the black market Viagra, he does like the smoke and disappears. Yes. But he's just hiding behind these boxes laughing. And the guy like sees him.
You gotta watch it, man, to get it. But the point is, when we first started off, all of us were like, oh, this is kind of rough. But now Kadish and I are far enough into it that we're starting to understand why it's funny, and it's easier to get the jokes now.
You haven't seen this episode yet, but there's a great episode, I believe it's episode 8, where at the beginning of the season, the main bad guy named Mr. Tyrant.
Oh, geez. Okay.
like real tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
So he decides that he wants to build a shark tank in his evil lair, and then like in episode 8 they pay. Or 9, they pay that off, and he actually decides to like threaten some of his minions with throwing them into the shark tank.
Oh, and that was a setup. He had a like a production meeting with his henchmen, and they all brought him different ideas for torture tanks. And every time somebody would hold up one, like, this is an idea for what I would do
like
for my
Austin Powers.
Like Austin Powers, right? Yeah. They were like, this is my idea for a torture tank, and if he didn't like it, he would like smack him upside the head and fire him. And then he got to the guy with the sharks, and he's like, "This is the one. I like it."
And what was great about this payoff was that the guy who was from Norseman, who played Rufus, so like him and a bunch of others are being threatened with being thrown into the shark tank, and one guy does fall in, but the sharks don't like start eating him, like they're just swimming around, and the guy's like the Mr. Tyrant, he's like, make more splashes. Why aren't they eating him? Why aren't the sharks attacking him? And then Rufus is like, well, actually, most sharks don't eat humans. Like they look for like smaller prey. And he's like, why didn't anyone tell me this? Like, what's going on? Like, it's just one of those like weird like Seinfeld moments almost when you have like this setup where you expect it to be super violent. Because early on in the season, like there's a human zoo episode.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, and they're John Iver and his partner actually wrote themselves into the episode. And they're just a day away from like civilization and rescue. And they're like, hey, why don't we just go down tomorrow? We're well rested. We don't have to rush down tonight. We're going to start a fire and just sleep. What could happen? What could happen? Like, we're just here. And then like they wake up the next morning, they're being eaten by lions.
It's just the worst idea possible is to stay put.
Yeah. And the Americans who were trying to escape the human zoo,
they're just lazy pieces of shit.
Yeah, they ran for a little while. Then they're like, oh, this running sucks. I'm just going to turtle down and wait for them to take me back.
And they pick them up like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo from Return of the Jedi on like sticks, and they're like, oh, this is so much more comfortable as they get walking back to the human zoo. It's weird and different, but if you like Norsemen, the more you get into this show, the more you're going to get the jokes. I would say after watching 7-8 episodes,
how many episodes are there?
They're 10.
10.
Yeah, I say go back and give it another shot. I would tell you go give it another shot. And a different mindset.
What it ultimately is, because I remember when we were interviewing John Iver about Captain Fall, and we were trying to get some details, and he was very cagey about it. It's actually a spoof on the evil genius trope of James Bond.
Okay.
There's actually a part in the show where someone mentions like, oh, just like in a James Bond film, and Mr. Tyrant's like, what are you talking about? Like, what is this James Bond?
Because he has like a cat and everything.
He's Dr. Evil.
He's Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
No, not Dr. Evil. Who's the guy from Inspector Gadget?
Dr. Claw.
Dr. Claw. Yeah. So at the beginning of the show, he's Dr. Claw, and every time he's on screen, like he has like the shadow across his face, and everyone's like, oh, you have
very dramatic lighting.
Yeah, you have very dramatic lighting. I can't see your face. Can you turn on the light or something?
And he's sitting in the back corner. He's like, no, I will not change the lighting. I like it the way it is.
Yeah, it's like goofy. Talking about the show is way more fun than actually watching the show. Yeah,
maybe it's a watch party show.
Sure, yeah, you could get some good laughs out of it. It's very strange. I don't know. I was worried that I wasn't going to like it because I think John Iver's really talented. I love the guy. I think he's cool, and he was kind enough to come on our show when we were very, very small for a podcast. And I was like, I don't want to shit on this guy's show.
I don't like gross humor.
You might not like it then. There's a lot of gross humor.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
I mean, I can tolerate it if the joke lands very well, but if it's just to be gross, I don't like it.
Well, what's funny is like in Norsemen, there was a lot of dark humor.
Dark humor, I like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it worked in Norsemen in a very weird way because Norsemen was so charming, but they would have like, cock necklaces. They would have like scenes of like these Vikings graphically killing like innocent people, but it was funny.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I will put it back on my list.
Okay.
But there's a couple things I'm going to watch first.
All right.
Fluffy Panda called me such a girl because I don't like gross humor. I like violence.
Well, I watched the first couple episodes and I did not like it, and I felt bad about it because I really wanted to like this show.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Vader. Like the first couple episodes aren't good, but when you start talking about them, they become good in a weird way. Like there's so much crazy stuff that happens in this show that, like, as you're watching it, you're not really enjoying it. But then, like, once you get the humor, it's funny. Like for instance, there's this whole special like task force that's designed to like take this Mr. Tyrant down, and all the FBI guys are buffoons basically, and they're going to go bust this this underground dick pill ring. And before they go, the head leader does a Facebook post where he's got his gun out.
Oh yeah.
So it's because of
and he's like gonna go bust a dick pill ring. Yeah, like hashtag Law and Order or something like that.
Yeah, he's posing with his gun. Selfie.
Yeah, and then like once they get there, like the Mr. Tyrant's minions have like blown up the place to get rid of any evidence, and they're all like, "Man, how did they know we were coming?"
And plus, I'm sure that there's some jokes that you've gotten, Alex got, and when you guys talk to each other, you realize like, oh, I didn't get that at first, and back and forth.
Well, I mean, all the jokes are pretty obvious, but the interesting thing about this is like it's very dark humor, and because it's animated, the when they did it in Norsemen, it could kind of be softened a little bit, I think, just by like the actors handling it. Like Norsemen does get very graphic and bloody and violent and like weird sometimes.
I'll have to check it out.
But it doesn't play
it
doesn't play as well on animation, I think.
Yeah.
But the scenarios that they bring out in the show, once you start talking about them, you're like, okay, now I see where the humor is.
Yeah. It's a weird
like,
show.
I don't like Big Mouth. I think that's a little too
I don't like Big Mouth
crude
either.
and gross. Like the first season was okay. Jokes were some funny, but I felt every season after that just got grosser and grosser, and I was just like out.
There's definitely a moment there. I mean, the Captain Fall's brother is.
Oh yeah.
He's I do not like him.
He's so obnoxious. He's played by Adam Devine from Workaholics.
Okay. Yeah, I do not like him as a character in the show. It takes me out of it because he's over the top, like gross, sexy humor stuff, and it's just like,
I don't like that.
I don't like that stuff either. But he's a minor character in the show. A lot more happens where he's not even involved. But you know, to that character, like he's so over the top that like I can only imagine that they said like, okay, go as obnoxious as you possibly can, because I feel like a lot of his dialogue was probably like ad-libbed. You think so?
I'm guessing because like it just seems like a lot of Adam Devine-isms kind of like got into that. But there's a scene in the first episode where basically the old Fall Guy captain for this cruise line, which is basically like the forefront of a smuggling operation, he gets arrested. And so they want a captain that is so inept that they can basically con him into doing whatever they want. And so they go to this like kind of like maritime job place. And the main femme fatale of the show, who's also the main love interest, she walks in there. And once she finds Captain Fall's like resume, she's like, okay, this is who we want to hire. And the woman who's in charge of like the staffing is so excited. She's like, okay, I'm going to post this on Facebook because no one's going to believe it. And so like the woman's forced to kill her. And then like, it's just this chain reaction where like,
everybody sees her do it.
And she's like, oh, I'm really sorry. And then like, pow. And then like a guy comes out of the bathroom and she's like, pow. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And then the UPS guy comes in and she's like, oh God.
Yeah. I'm really sorry about this.
I'm really sorry.
And like right before then, like the guy that she went there with, he was like, just try not to do anything too drastic.
She ends up having to burn the entire building down. She goes back in, grabs a gas can, walks right. It doesn't say anything. Walks right back into the building.
Yeah, and he's just doing Sudoku the whole time. And she's like covering up the evidence of this mass murder.
It's just so goofy, man. This is weird. It's really
funny stuff. Funny stuff. Yeah. What? Too much? Sorry.
You're freaking weird today, man. You are on one.
Let me just reiterate to the chat. When you're watching the show, it's not good.
It's not good.
It's
but when you
really
talk
not
about
good.
it or think about it,
it's
good.
And I feel like if we were to go back and rewatch it, we would have way more fun.
Oh yeah.
Probably if you watched it together too.
Murder's funny. Yeah.
You do. You watch all kinds of weird movies like that, dude.
There's not enough shark kills this week.
Dude, Norseman freaking had tons of murder in it.
Yeah.
And that was funny.
I'm going to have to watch The Norseman.
You definitely
Should
do.
I watch
should watch
Vikings first or just go straight into The
You
Norseman?
don't have to watch Vikings to watch Norseman.
Okay.
Norseman's like a half-hour comedy show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, I'll check it out.
All right, that's it. That's our pitch for Captain Fall, I guess. I don't know.
Matt killed the mood baiter.
Seriously, he's a freaking buzzkill today. And he's probably more buzzed than anybody in the room.
That's my problem.
God.
Oh, I see you comics and cosmetics. I see you, Danny.
Yeah. She's here. She's saying, I started watching it. It's May. It does. It is. It's meh. And then you start thinking about it. And it's freaking funny.
You start talking about it. And it's even funnier.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Do you think they'll get a season 2?
I doubt it. I don't think a lot of people are watching this. But the thing about it is that the once you get what they're going for, once you get the humor, I think it's way funnier than it comes off on initial viewing.
I agree. I'm one episode behind him, and I'm in the same place. I'm like, I didn't like it.
I'm looking for something new to watch to kind of.
I don't think you and Chris would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if you're not exposed to Norseman. Like watch Norseman
first.
You'll get
and
the
then...
humor better. Yeah, you'll understand. Like, because there's a lot of dialogue. Like the scene where they write themselves in the human zoo episode. The dialogue between them two is so Norseman. You're like, it's ripped straight from Norseman.
I'm looking for someone to fill in for Righteous Gemstones because that just ended for this season. So I want to fill it in with a new show.
We recommend Norseman to everyone.
Okay.
Essentially, you can't go wrong with Norseman.
I also recommend Righteous Gemstones, by the way. That's a pretty good show on HBO.
All right. You guys ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Why don't you tell people what you're going on Saturdays? Nothing happening on Saturdays?
Saturdays this week, I believe we have Nina Infinity coming on.
Okay.
On Saturday with our normal sausage fest of a crew. So it'll be interesting dynamic.
You're talking about Disney or something?
Probably something.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
How unique.
Well, when you can match our numbers with this show, you can talk shit. Okay.
I came on the right show to start as a regular. Might be my last.
Challenge accepted. Challenge accepted Tuesday, people.
Wait. I'm sorry. We got to highlight this one.
What's up? Don't touch my shit, Dave.
That's right. That's right. Don't touch my shit.
I'm gonna come in.
We have a lot of fun on Saturdays. And I thought you were gonna come hang out with us on Saturdays.
Katie told me I wasn't needed.
Well, I'd say you are.
All right.
So
if I have time, I'll try. Yeah. My days are full. I got a lot of stuff going on. So
you're super busy, huh? It's okay.
It's ridiculous.
I get it.
Nadia. Pitch your show.
Oh, yeah. Chris and I are recording our next episode of Inside All Day here. This Sunday, so it'll be released next Wednesday. And then on Friday, I will be on Friday Night Royal Rumble live stream at 5 p.m. discussing Barbie.
Cool.
And are you tired of talking about Barbie yet?
I am not, because I'm the only one that likes it.
Be the contrarian.
Yes.
Not as contrarian as you.
Have you seen? Did your wife went to go see it?
Yeah.
Did she like it?
She was.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't have people overanalyze it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
same opinion.
It's a movie.
Same opinion.
It's a movie.
It was great because my wife, my mother-in-law, my daughter, and both granddaughters went and watched it, and I stayed home and had a nice little afternoon.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah. It's not for me. I don't give a shit about Barbie.
Just how I don't think Hot Wheels is going to be for me.
No.
My wife is claiming my Saturday. She's like, no, you're hanging out with the family. All right.
It's like we are his family now.
Real quick, check out Nadia's podcast, link in the description.
Yes.
Goes to the Spotify, but she's also on the Apple Podcast.
And YouTube.
I couldn't find your YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I searched for Inside All Day.
I know we don't come up on the search very often. I seriously, I sometimes look for it. I'm like, where are we? I gotta look for it, but I'll send it to you.
All right. So we're going to have an excellent panel on Saturday. Should be a lot of fun. Don't know what we're talking about yet, but I'm sure the topics will come up as the week goes on.
We'll find out come Thursday.
I hope you talk about Barbie.
I'll try to watch, but
I'm not talking about Barbie.
I hope you talk about whatever's trending on Twitter. I'm sorry, on X.
On X.
What is your problem?
Nothing. I don't have a problem.
Are you trying to pick a fucking fight with me?
Yeah, let's go.
What is your deal?
We're gonna turn the cameras off. We're gonna go.
Hey,
we're gonna
kumbaya, guys, kumbaya.
Pedro became angry drunk all of a sudden.
You have your wife come over and beat me up?
She could.
What are your topics Saturday anyway?
I don't know.
We'll find out because we're on the show.
Alex,
did your guests want to talk about
I think it's the expired energy drink he's been having. It's been a meme.
Expired energy drink and vodka. Don't mix it, kids.
Is it really expired?
It's not a good vibe.
I don't know where that came from.
Like discontinued. It's no longer a brand.
It's from the 90s. He found it in the back of some shed somewhere.
No, that's a popular energy drink nowadays.
Oh,
Chris drinks those now.
Learn to roll with the joke, Nadia.
I'm defending Vader on this one. I think you guys are picking on him.
These guys are mean.
I know, right?
Just because I didn't like their stupid ass shark movie today.
I'm not going to use my
Shows who really has taste, Vader.
Are you still limiting your swear words?
Yeah.
You're such a bitch.
I'm not going to use it on you. I'm not going to waste it on you.
You're such a cuck.
I
swear.
As his wife's in the chat.
She's probably going to come over, walk in the door, and drag him out by his ear pretty soon. It's time for you to come out.
My wife does not sound like that.
No,
you're just jealous.
His wife is a lovely woman.
She is. Ashley's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Start a fight. We like fight.
Besides, his Saturday's probably going to be booked going to go see Barbie because she wants to go see Barbie.
I'm not seeing Barbie. I'm going to go see the Meg 2 and the last Demeter or whatever that thing's called.
Last Voyage.
When is that out?
11th.
The 11th? Okay. And we're going for Meg?
Meg is this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday for the Meg and then Sunday for Demeter.
All right, just let
Always
me know. Because
I will.
It's a good thing
someone had
It's a
to.
good thing this wasn't tequila today.
Somebody had to
What did you put
forward
in there?
me the
Oh,
Tuesday topics instead of including me on the initial
Oh, you know what
email.
the problem was, V? You were drinking the wrong vodka.
I drink Tito's.
You gotta
and that.
drink
Shady
Ambush
Mill.
Canyon Shady
Oh.
Mill vodka. Go to
Not a sponsor.
caskers.com.
Not a
Not a
sponsor.
sponsor. And grab their stuff because they're freaking awesome. And they
Caskers.
send us stuff. Caskers.com. Yeah. That's why you're so upset.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset about anything.
I think you're mixing upset with.
I
Drunk.
think you need to shut the fuck up. That's what
Me
I'm
or
saying.
him?
You're talking to her?
For me or him? Which one of us?
Who's
Both of
talking
you.
you on now?
Both
No.
of you.
Peter, I'm gonna touch your dice down. Fuck you. You know what? You have shitty opinions of movies. I'm over it.
I've been saying that for years. So.
Whatever.
He just turned on the only person
I know.
I hate
she's
all you.
defending you.
Hate Jerks.
Grumpy old man.
Yeah. Nadia's not Jude. She's not going to have your back.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm gonna start my own podcast.
Will you come? Will I be a guest?
No, you will not.
All right.
No girls allowed.
No girls allowed.
I think Vader's lumped you in with Danny. same
No.
Danny category.
All right. We're going to get the heck out of here.
I'm
Thank you
gonna
guys for your
start
support. Real quick, I got to shout out the super chatters.
Start talking about
$2 from JT. Shut up for a second. Gavin for the super sticker. Fluffy Panda multiple times for super chats. Bob Dorsey, as always. And that's it. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Stay salty, folks. We'll see you next week.
I'm
Adios.
gonna go start a podcast about wrestling and Star Trek.